ready.
I'm ready.
I think we're actually recording this time.
Oh, are we?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Dad.
I thought this was a test.
Oh my gosh.
Subliminal method. Hey, Jason, Travis, Tad.
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
What's up, Tony?
How you doing, Tony?
I'm good. How you doing?
This is my favorite part.
Oh, it's up and bending.
This is my favorite part.
Is it?
You say that every time. We
I
know.
know.
We know.
I can't help it. It's so good.
Boom, 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 boom.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Brett and Tony Presents BMsquared. I'm Abe.
I'm Brett.
I'm Ashlyn.
I'm Tony.
Ooh, and we are Brett and Tony with Ash and Abe. I've never done it that way. Why did I do it that way this time?
That was
I mean,
strange.
Abe just said that.
Oh my God, what
It
the
was
fuck am I
weird.
doing?
You're
All right.
weird.
So we have a guest today, guys.
No way.
Yes, we do. We have a film festival director, podcaster, and known Joe Bob Briggs and Michael Myers enthusiast, our good friend Tad Good.
Hey, Dad.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Be back on the show.
Technically the second time, but 3 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Second time
to
here.
half for
Yeah.
both of them
Actually,
because
Yeah.
we have
Technically-
an intro this time.
Technically, it's third. I think.
This hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed, this is going to be the first full episode. Because
Actually, I would be okay with just the intro for 10 minutes recorded, so we had that.
and then
opposite of
we'll
last
stop.
time.
Yeah.
And then we'll just, like, if it ever
Just
happens,
an intro.
if it ever happens
Yeah.
in the future, we'll just put that in there every time.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. This time, let's get an actual introduction from Tad Good, please. Tad, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh man, I don't know. That's always a tough one. I guess I'm a podcaster as well on the PFPN, host of the First Time Podcast, which is a podcast where me or the guest or both of us experience something for the first time and we talk about it, and then also co-host of Attack of the Killer podcast. And as you said, the director of Snake Alley Festival Film, which is coming up with our 9th annual event here pretty soon. It might already have happened by the time this drops. I'm not sure, but if not, come down to the Capitol and check it out. Yes, 124 short films over 4 days. It's a good time.
It's a great time.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. It's like a highlight of my year every year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that one time Blair and I sat by the guy from Clerks all weekend.
Hey, we did, didn't we?
Did you guys have to chase somebody out of the seats so you could have it?
No,
No,
I could totally
But
picture
he kept on looking for us.
Did he?
I'd like to
I think
he
you're giving.
did.
I think
like
you're
to
giving us
think
too much
so.
credit. Spoiler warning: if you clicked on this episode, you already know what we're going to spoil for you. So watch the movie, or I'm sure you've already seen it if you're listening, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
At some point.
Although, confession, I've never seen this movie.
Really?
What?
This is your first time?
First time.
You're kidding.
Yeah, this is
Interesting.
my first time.
Oh my god.
Not my first time with Joe Bob, but first time with Halloween.
Mine's
Yes.
the exact opposite.
Yes,
First time with Joe Bob.
Same.
Nice. Look
This
at
is
that.
my first time watching unedited because I only saw it in USA.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I guess this makes sense that we have the host of First Time Podcast with all
Yeah.
these first times.
Basically, everyone here at the table has a first time going
and
on.
they're all different first times.
Yeah, I swear weird.
Yeah, so
We
weird.
did not plan this.
All right. So moving on. Ashlyn gave me a look.
I'm just smiling.
The movie we're talking about, like I just said, is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. But we're doing it differently this week because we watched the movie on the last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs, which is a Shudder exclusive. Some of you, probably just very few of you, you might not recognize the name Joe Bob. Hell, I didn't know who Joe Bob was until he came to Shudder a couple years ago, and Tad recommended him. Joe Bob is the stage name of John Bloom. It's his B-movie critic alter ego. Guys, I love Joe Bob. He's become I've become a pretty big fan of Joe Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was your first time. What'd you think?
Yeah, my first time. I mean, it's interesting to jump into it. I've never experienced it before. So, I mean, at first, I'm kind of like, I love all the trivia and the knowledge this guy has. He's got a vast array of knowledge.
Fast.
It was just weird getting used to it, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I liked it.
Okay.
It's, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
I mean, I can't say I hate it, can't say I love it, but
yeah.
it's good.
I also think the way jumping into it with Halloween 4, it's in the middle of a marathon actually.
Yeah, it
Because
was.
this is the Halloween Hootenanny, so he started with Halloween 1, and the way the program works, he showed 3 movies that night.
Yeah.
It was like a special, like he does seasons of the show where he does double features, then he'll do spin-offs and specials, and this was the Halloween special he does every year. So he showed Halloween, Halloween 4, and Halloween 5.
Yeah,
so
and we picked the one right smack dab in the
Right in
middle.
the middle.
right.
Because that's the only way we would do it.
Yep.
And I remember watching him back in the day in TNT.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if did you also, Tad?
That's where my love of Joe Bob and a lot of my love for horror started.
Nice.
It sort of goes way back. Like I have an older brother, watched a lot of horror, and then I got into like reading the Goosebumps books, and then it was Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon,
Yep.
and then it's sort of like that. Monster Vision, hosted by Joe Bob Briggs, was on TNT Saturday nights, and he did exactly this, where he hosted a drive-in movie. Eventually, the show was on air for 4 years. Eventually, TNT started to sort of change the format, and he would be hosting really strange movies that weren't horror at all. I'm trying to think of an example, but it was like, we want to keep Joe Bob, but we're just gonna not show these strange horror movies anymore. So he was like hosting like mainstream like Hollywood movies, and it was very
That'd be
weird. I mean, he was good at it. He still managed to be Joe Bob, but it was still like being introduced to movies by him, and I still love that about the Shudder iteration, is that so many of the fans are like, I hope he shows this is my favorite movie, I hope he shows that, and I'm like, I want him to show things I've never heard of or I haven't gotten to see yet, because I want to learn about them. Like, he even sort of talks about that if you go back and watch the Halloween, the first Halloween, right before Halloween 4.
The way we probably should have.
Right.
Well, yeah, and I recommend going back, because he opens up and he's like, you guys have been asking for this. I don't know what else I can possibly say about this franchise, because he's hosted these movies before, probably several times on his different. He was on the movie channel before TNT, and it's like everybody knows every single tidbit about John Carpenter's Halloween. There's nothing new he can talk about, so he sort of had to find different angles, like how feminists are talking about how that movie is a feminist movie and how he disagrees, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, he always manages to make it interesting, but it is interesting that, like, people want to see him repeat movies. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why?
Yeah.
Like, I want to. That's what was great about it as a kid for me, is that he would show me movies I've never heard of. Like, I watched They Live on there for the first time,
nice.
stuff like that. And
I remember watching that. That was
yeah,
amazing.
and I remember very distinctly, like, being in my friend Lee Powell's bedroom in his house, staying the night, and we watched the Friday 13th marathon on his like 13-inch TV in his bedroom. So I was curious when he came back to Shudder if it would be like, is this just pure nostalgia in my mind and it won't hold up anymore? Or I was a little worried, like, showing people for the first time, is this all nostalgia? Like, can you have a connection to him without prior knowledge? And it's good to hear that, like, you've become a fan recently, because I've heard some of my friends reach out and they're like, I just don't get it. They're like, and that's fine. And not everything's for everybody. I can, but it did hold up for me, like, when he came back to Shudder.
I think the thing that I like most about Joe Bob is that the part of his personality where it's just that enthusiastic. Like, he's very enthusiastic about these movies, B movies. You know what I mean?
Even the crappiest of
Like,
movies, he has
exactly.
a love and respect for him.
Exactly. He has a respect for him. Like, he gives, he'll give the star ratings and everything. And even on one that he gives like a 1 star, he still
treats it the same.
It treats it the same.
Yeah.
During the movie, he is very enthusiastic, like very like you guys made a movie. It's fucking hard to make a movie.
Right.
You guys did it, So
Absolutely.
I think that's what I like most about him. Also, it's good to hear. You said it's good to hear that I, as a new person, like it, but I think it's good to hear also that somebody that used to like it still likes it.
Yes.
Like you said, you were a little bit worried.
Yeah, when he did, I mean, originally, and I don't know how much of the history you want to go back, but originally, 2018, it was announced that he was coming back for one last marathon on Shudder, 24-hour marathon. It was like,
Oh, I saw the list of movies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it went 24 hours straight on Shudder, and the funny thing was, like, they weren't sure. At the time, Shudder was Shudder, but they were not huge.
Yeah.
I feel like Joe Bob sort of elevated them up, because he was doing this thing, and people went fucking crazy, and he hadn't been on air in 15 years or something. It had been a long time. Monster Vision went out in year 2000, so it had been 18 years since he had and he was still doing book signings. He was appearing at conventions and stuff, but he was not what he used to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think Shudder or Joe Bob quite understood the impact that he had on people, because I was a little teenager watching this, and it's like now I'm an adult. When he came back, the first two movies you couldn't watch because their servers went down because so many people were trying to watch.
Damn.
Which made people like irate but also excited, like
Yeah.
Shudder has to bring him back now because look at the demand. Literally took Shudder off air.
So they probably had to like up their whatever, like I'm
Server.
not server power or something.
They had to flip the override switch.
But that's awesome though. They basically had to up their server shit because of Joe Bob.
Yeah, there was people on like Twitch and on live streaming on Twitter and stuff, because there was a few people who would be able to get, and I don't know how the technology works, but there are some people that could actually stream it. I couldn't at all.
Yeah.
But it was just like the excitement, and I think at the time they were saying it's going to air live and we're not going to put it up afterwards because the rights of the movies is going to be a pain in the ass. So if you're not watching it live, you're going to miss it and never see it again, just like it would have been on cable. Just like on Monster Vision, it was like unless you had a VHS tape and the VCR, like you would see it once.
It's just gone.
And so people are going wild for it, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna put it back up because of the internet issues, but this is your only chance. And then of course it was like, okay, we're gonna give him a full season. And then it became the saying, it was like a full season. Then he gets every holiday. He gets Thanksgiving, Christmas.
I saw one year he had like all the big holidays. He had one for each. Like
Valentine's.
He's
done every one of the big holidays. So it was like
I was able to make half of the Valentine's one this past year. I forget what it was though. I think the
Love
first,
Witch.
Yeah, the Love Witch. That's the one that I
Yeah.
watched. Yeah. I didn't watch the Tammy and the T-Rex.
That one was for Valentine's Day.
For Valentine's Day.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of got a love story in there.
And that's what he always sort of puts a twist on, because it's like this Halloween Hootenanny one was like the only one that really stuck on subject. Like people are Thanksgiving one, they were like oh, he's going to show Thanksgiving or something, and then he ended up showing
Thanksgiving was a good movie.
He did show like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it was like Dinners of Death was the theme. Or Christmas he showed the Phantasm movies, and people were like, those have nothing to do with Christmas. Why'd you show those? He's like, because I love them. And,
you can't go wrong with Don Coscarelli.
Right. And so I've just always gravitated towards him, and it's just been an awesome resurgence. He's getting so much love now, and it's just great to see like those fans stuck around. They were still there. They were just waiting for someone else to finally pick it up. And
I like it.
Shudder was smart to jump on it, and he was also smart to say yes and keep going with it. So
hell yeah. And then I think they just got renewed right for their 4th season.
Yep.
Is going to be the next one.
And they said more specials. So we'll probably get at least a Halloween one before the next season. And we also have to give a lot of credit to Darcy. She was the one that sort of had followed him around like all these convention stuff and tried to convince him like, you still have like this huge following. We need to get you back in some form.
Nice.
And sort of motivated him to give it a try. And a lot of, I think a lot of credit is due to her.
I was kind of wondering, I couldn't really find anywhere where, like, talking about how she got involved in or anything. That's cool to know.
Yeah, I was curious how long she's been with it.
And in past ones, he's really, like, a lot of times he's had a male girl. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah, every iteration, yeah.
But it seems like this one's like a little different. Like they're a little closer or something like that. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, now with social media, it's brought a whole different game to it, because when I watched it on TNT, there was a community of people who watched it, but it would be like Monday at school, you have one friend who watched it and would talk about it. Now it's like I live tweet every episode, and it's something about watching it live. Like I've had to miss a few, and it's not the same watching it on Sunday when it goes up as a replay. It's fun, but it's not when you're interacting with other people at the same time and they're all surprised because he surprises you with the movies. He doesn't tell you what they are ahead of time, and of course the way they play it off, it's obviously recorded well ahead, but. The way she plays it off as if she's reading the tweets live and she's on air. It's the first one that aired, people thought it was live, and it was like, they sort of figure out a way to make it seem like it is, but yeah, it's a cool idea, and I love I think with social media's help, it even makes it better.
Oh yeah, she's really into the social media part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she even like every time he does a convention appearance anywhere he's live, she's there. Like. I met him at Crypticon Kansas City in 2018, I think, and or 2019, I don't remember. And she was like working his table, selling T-shirts and pictures and stuff, as if she was just like just his assistant or something.
Yeah.
And
That's
it was
cool.
Yeah, it was like, and people be like, can we get a picture of you? She's like, you want a picture with me? Yeah, you're on the show too.
Crazy.
So yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for her and think she deserves a lot of the credit too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome.
Very cool.
That was cool. And then a couple other things to know about this guy that I just really liked. He was a correspondent for The Daily Show for 2 years with a segment called God Stuff.
As John Bloom, right?
Yep.
Whoa.
And I watched some of them. It was cool.
He is a super smart guy.
Yes.
Like he plays
not
this,
just about movies.
right?
Like,
He plays this redneck guy, but he's an author. He's he goes out and he's done TED Talks. Like,
yeah. Like, he
his
surprises the fuck out of me.
John Bloom, his actual him, the other side of him is very smart, and it's very interesting to see like he flips on a switch, because we think of horror hosts as Elvira and Zombu and all these guys who wear the black and white face makeup or and all this stuff, and he's like, how did he come up with this? It's a guy who sits outside of a trailer in like a cowboy shirt, and hosts B movies. I love it. Like
it's too amazing.
Yeah, it's just like, how in the hell? And when you introduce people to him, I introduced Nikki and my friend Adam to him. Like they had never heard of him before, and trying to explain it to him, like you just got to watch it.
Yeah.
And
you don't think of rednecks in horror movies,
No.
Right.
like unless it's like a redneck horror movie,
Right.
Yeah, but like redneck fans of horror movies or
No,
something.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
he does a whole program, How Redneck Saved Hollywood, and that was sort of his live show that he toured. He still is touring it.
he is now.
Yeah, he still
That'd
does
be
it.
totally-
We were this close to having him at Snake Alley in 2019.
Oh, man.
It came down to a few dollars, and it was like we'll talk about it a little bit more after air, but it's definitely something. I mean, what's crazy about his like, he has like this safe as a mind. Like it's crazy. Even at his age, he's almost 70, and he's got this just like a safe for a brain. Because when I met him at Crypticon, I introduced myself as Tad, and he's like, from Iowa, and I'm like, this was like is like, what do you mean? And he's like, how do you know that? And he's like, well, we were talking about doing a live show in Iowa. I've never done a show there, and I really wanted to make it work, but with my schedule and stuff, he's like, but we'll make it to the Capitol. And he remembered like the theater, the festival, everything about it. And I wasn't even emailing with him. I was emailing with his assistant, and he remembered all that like in his brain. And when he signed my poster, he wrote, the drive-in king of Iowa.
Yep.
And it's just like, out of all the stuff he has to remember, he somehow remembered my name. But it's like, the next person in line, he's like, oh, I remember you from a show, 10 years ago. He remembers. It's like he has like a lock in his brain that
I want his memory.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. 70, as sharp as he's ever been. It's crazy.
That's
I know. I keep on wanting to people I don't even know. But they're, hey, Tony.
Yeah.
I like,
That's an
hey,
awkward feeling.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I know you?
And then a couple of, just real quick, some unexpected pop-ups he's had in movies that I liked.
Face Off?
Yeah, he was in Face Off. That's insane. He was in Face Off. He was in Casino, Marty Scorsese.
Okay.
And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Deleted scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're hitting play on our movie. I actually wrote that down. Yeah.
You're so weird.
So the episode opens with Joe Bob, a Joe Bob toy on strings, being manned by Darcy, doing an impression of him, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved the impression. Saying the impression is basically like making fun of him, being like, oh, this is the best Halloween movie ever. Apparently she likes Halloween 3 the most.
Yeah.
She
Which
is
is pretty
a huge,
good.
yeah,
Huge
Halloween
Halloween
3 stand,
3 fan?
and Joe Bob did Halloween 3 on Monster Vision and says it's like it's one of his lowest rated films of all time. He gave it 0 stars.
Whoa.
He hates it with a passion.
Really?
So that's the fans have been clamoring every new season.
Yeah, I saw it wasn't on there.
Every episode, everybody's like, this is going to be the night he finally does Halloween 3, and he's never done it. They want him to do it again for some reason, even though he hates it. They think they're going to change his mind or something's going to click, and he hates it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I liked 3 a lot. I wouldn't go as far as Darcy though. She said it was better than the first one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's high marks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely adore Halloween 3, but I also don't consider it in the rankings because it's just not.
Yeah,
if it
it's
didn't
so
have
far
Halloween in front of 3,
Yeah,
if
it's
it
a
was Season of the
completely
Witch,
different
it's
movie.
just its own movie. Yeah. So
But if it didn't have that Halloween name in the front, it probably would have just been like a
wouldn't have got the
forgotten
rank-
movie.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, and it had a lot of the same people that worked on Halloween 1 and 2 and behind the film production, so it felt like a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
behind
still
the
has
scenes.
a great score. Yeah, Dean Cundy still does the cinematography. Carpenter did the score. Like everything about it. Yeah, it's a great horror movie. It's just not a great movie in the continuity of the Halloween franchise. People just hate that it doesn't have Michael Myers.
Yeah. So from there we see the real Joe Bob not looking very amused. He gets after her for not taking Day of the Dead seriously enough and dressing up the set with kid decorations instead of skulls. That was kind of funny. So Darcy leaves. She goes to get changed, and then Joe Bob fills us in on where we're going to be jumping right into the movie because
Well, he kind of does like a recap of the first two movies real
basically.
quick. He's like,
Yep. Thank you, Abe, for saving me.
hey, no problem. I got you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, they've had that sort of running joke, like they did it with the Phantasm movies too, where Shudder can't get the rights to like a certain sequel, and they're doing a marathon. So this went from Halloween 1 to 4, and he's like, "Well, let me catch you up with Halloween 2 because we couldn't get the rights." And the same thing happened with Phantasm 2; they couldn't get the rights, so he sort of joked about, "Oh, the movie sucks anyways. You don't want to see it just because Shudder couldn't get the rights."
Just joking around.
Yeah.
From there, he goes on a rant right here about the Lifetime Network that had me cracking up, guys.
Yeah, it was funny as hell.
Oh my god, he's drawing some real parallels between Lifetime movies and low-budget horror movies.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I've never thought about it that way before, but
I used to watch Lifetime horror all the time. And he
you?
actually mentioned one of my favorite ones, and it was Death of a Cheerleader.
Wait, is that the Kirsten Dunst one that he was talking
No.
about? Oh.
He mentioned
In
it
the
afterwards.
same breath, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Kirsten Dunst, and then he went right to
Although
the
I
Death of
have
a
seen that
Cheerleader.
one.
No, it's hilarious. As he was listing them, Ashton was like, "Yep, I know that one.
Yeah.
I know that one."
Katie they have a Lifetime network, like movie network, a streaming service now, and Katie
I'm
had
sure
that
they do.
she had that for a couple
they
months.
have to.
Wow.
There's so
And
many.
she just burned through so many of those Lifetime
Dude,
movies.
Lifetime can get pretty good. I'm just saying.
I've seen a couple. They're all right.
I think Rebecca McKendry from used to be Shockwaves, and now is like podcast host. She's done directed a few of them.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that'd
Love
be neat. So he explains the movie after that a little bit, and boy, does he sell it. My favorite line of his right here is, "Sure, we've seen it before. Actually, we've seen it twice before. But have we seen it with a 3-minute scene of a grizzled whiskey guzzling traveling preacher telling Dr. Loomis what his mission in life is?" And the answer, no, we haven't seen it like that. I love it. Then he goes into the drive-in totals, and this is a staple of his that has gone all the way back to his younger days working in print before his TV days.
Yep.
Before this, he worked for the Dallas Herald
Times or something.
Something like that, yeah. And actually, quick side note, just because I love this story, he...
Oh, you're going way to the back.
way to the back. In the early 80s, he was a journalist for that paper, and he was just finishing a book, so he asked if he could be the film critic, so instead of being a journalist for a little bit, so that he could just stay in town while he finished the book and not have to chase stories and shit like that. I just thought that was awesome. That's how he fell into being a movie critic, at the beginning or
Just so
something.
he could finish.
And here we are, just 2021. He hosts his own show on Shudder.
Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy to think that's how it starts,
Yeah.
So he gives the drive-in totals, and I wrote down all the drive-in totals here because I liked the part of the drive-in totals.
Oh,
at
it's
the beginning.
my total highlight of every episode is when he gets rolling on those, because
when he gets rolling. Yeah.
So everything foo. How many
I
breasts?
like the foos.
Yeah.
So this movie, Tony, you didn't have to do a kill count because he gives it to you.
So I checked out right at the beginning.
Tony took a nap. So we got 18 dead bodies, 1 dead dog, 2 breasts, 1 excellent motor vehicle chase, exploding gas station, exploding power station, pickup and shotgun vigilante brigade, thumb through the forehead, iron rod through the chest, shotgun through the midriff, socket wrench foo, fire extinguisher foo, ready kilowatt foo, and straight jacket foo.
I don't remember the straight jacket foo, and I don't remember what was the other one on there. The socket foo.
The socket wrench foo.
Yeah, I don't remember those two.
That's when he breaks into the. We'll get to it, but he breaks into the garage to get his jumpsuit.
Yep. Then he gives some awards to some fun people in the movie, and then he gives it 4 stars, and he says to check it out. Then Joe Bob goes on a rant before the movie starts, and I love that every time that he's going back to the movie.
Yep, he has another.
He has another one, and it just seems like it's like totally off script. It seems like, I don't know how off script it really is, but it just looks like he's just trying to make everybody behind the camera just laugh real quick before the movie rolls. God, I love it.
He's like, just go ahead and roll the movie. I'm going to keep talking and entertain a little bit longer.
Just roll it whenever you want to. I'll just keep talking until you do. God. From there, the movie kicks off. It's October 30th, 1988, and the credits roll as we see creepy images of farms. Even though it isn't the classic Halloween credit sequence, I dig it right here.
It's my favorite intro for the whole franchise. Yeah, I mean, it's shot in Salt Lake City, but it looks. Is there any Halloween movie that looks more Halloween, like Midwest? Yeah. That looks like fall in Iowa or Illinois. It's gorgeous.
And I'm pretty sure none of them have actually been filmed in the Midwest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made that comment earlier on. He's like, they've never gotten the budget to actually go to Illinois.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, that beginning credit sequence, it just feels like the Midwest, and I feel like it's just letting us know that it's like a different Michael Myers feel to it. This movie's going to have. An ambulance transport arrives at a federal mental hospital to transport Michael Myers, not dead, to a different mental hospital. Because basically he died at the end of the second one, right?
Right. Yeah. And he talks a little bit about that too. Is after Carpenter did the second one begrudgingly, he wrote it, did not want to do another Michael Myers story, but they threw too much money at him. Universal did.
It happens.
Then he wanted to do 3 and start this sort of anthology series. Each Halloween would be a different story, which I would have loved.
Which, goddamn, it was ahead of its fucking time.
Right,
that whole idea.
Do that now, and it would have killed. But
exactly, and they do that now. Like American Horror Story, every season it's a different subject, and now the same guy is doing American Horror Stories,
right?
Where it's just like every episode is a different fucking.
Yeah, and then
that's gonna be a lot better.
Carpenter sold off his rights to Mustafa Akkad, who is the sort of curator who financed the first 2 movies, and he was like, let's bring Michael Myers back after a third one flopped, and I felt like that intro was also like clear like intention, like we're going back to Haddonfield, no more Halloween 3 nonsense, like forget all that, we're going back. And so they had to figure out a way to and it's no problem in slasher movies bringing the killer back from dead. You could do anything, cut his head off, and he'll be back. So
they did that.
Yep,
they have done that. They always write themselves at the end of these movies.
In a
corner, and then the next one they're just like, hey, let's figure out how to get him out of this one.
I love how Joe Bob mentions, he says something about Dr. Loomis is back, and his face looks like it's something a dog threw up. Because that bad
and it keeps switching.
It moves. Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but he did point it out. I wish I would have paid more attention to that.
They're there to transport Michael Myers. My favorite line here, an ambulance driver is getting led by a security guard down below to go get Michael, right? And a patient walks by looking real rough, and one of the ambulance drivers says, Jesus, and the security guard stops all dramatically, really dramatic, like even touches his arms. Yeah, and he's like, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place.
And he's, I love it. He's in Illinois, and he has like a New York accent. He's like,
Jesus
ain't got nothing to do with this place.
Yeah, I swear, he looks, I feel like I've seen him. I feel like
probably like Sopranos or something.
New Yorker in everything.
Right. Yeah, he's like a character actor in the 80s, I think. Yeah.
You just pop up. So they load up a boy, Mikey. That just sounds weird. They load up Michael. Respect.
Can't call him Mikey.
Yeah,
Mikey. I don't know why I tried that. And they hit the road. The paramedics are talking about Michael, and they let it slip that he's got a niece, which is exactly the jolt that he needed to wake up from his coma.
Literally jolt because his hand moves.
I love it. So he wakes up and he shoves his thumb into the guy's forehead.
Yeah. And
perfect beginning.
We're back after all this. Yeah, that's all it took.
Yep. We meet 7-year-old Jamie, played by horror legend Danielle Harris. She is Laurie Strode's daughter. Laurie died in an accident off screen in between movies, and Jamie lives with her foster parents and bitch foster sister Rachel. I don't like her.
Awkward. She's like goes back and forth. Like part of the time she's like really sweet, and then out of nowhere she's a
teenager.
Bitch.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. She's a teenager.
She'll be nice, and then all of a sudden she's like, "We're not sisters.
We're not
fucking
real
sisters. Yeah, don't even call me your sister, bitch." To a 7-year-old.
They throw so much story and plot right at us in like first 5 minutes.
Oh
Like,
my
what
gosh.
happened? What happened to Laurie Strode, who was the main protagonist in the series? She just died in a car wreck or something. Whatever. You know, it's a shoebox with a picture. Let's move on from that.
Exactly. It's like, how do you bring the killer back in the sequel?
So how do you kill off?
You just explain it real quick and get on with the fucking
Move
movie.
on.
Right, you just want, you're just here
Just
to
go.
see Michael kill people. We
Yep.
needed a motivation, but we can't afford Jamie Lee Curtis to come back. So we have this little girl that was on Roseanne,
And now we'll call her Jamie,
Right,
in reference, I guess.
right.
Okay.
I remember as a kid watching this and being like, I was just very confused because they brush over it very quickly, and it's not really, you know, I was just like, wait, what happened with her? But she can come back, right? And
And it never explained why does she keep on seeing him if she never seen him.
right,
She keeps on seeing him before he shows up.
Yep.
That makes no
how
sense.
she has that image in her head,
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah, it never explains
No.
that
no.
about
And that annoyed me on
And
this.
for sure, they would definitely keep her safe from. I mean, it's just not. You would think, okay, Haddonfield. Obviously, the Michael Myers thing is a huge legend. Everybody knows what happened, but you would think like it
A
would be something
7-year-old.
that you'd see. Yeah, a 7-year-old see the mask
He's
of.
gonna
But I
pick
don't
up on
know.
that.
Like I think about that often too. Like you know, jumping ahead a little bit. When he gets the mask from the drugstore, it's like. What kind of fucking drugstore sells the
Yeah.
mask of a killer that killed innocent
Yeah.
teenagers in your hometown? That's
and
sick, you know.
all these teenagers wearing these masks in front of cops.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing I didn't like, or I can't say didn't like, it threw me off was the fact that once they introduced the fact that she hallucinates Michael, it made me unsure of everything else in the rest of the movie. I'm like, is this really happening, or is
that-
this
that's true.
Is that what they're going for? Though?
Yeah.
That's true, absolutely.
It's like a
good
story,
yeah.
like
But
a
they-
plot red herring.
It was like they could not wait to get to Michael in a mask. Like they
No,
could
yeah,
not.
they were excited.
Yeah, they were like, we want to make sure we establish that he is here, full force, front and center.
Yep.
He is the guy this time after
No
what they
more
consider the
tease.
disastrous of Halloween 3. We're like, we want to get him on the front
On
and
the
center,
screen now.
right away
Yeah.
with a good scare to make sure people sit in their seats.
And I mean, they do kind of. We talked about the ending. They always write themselves into a corner and then dig themselves out in the next movie. They kind of do that with the flashbacks and the sequels and stuff like that in 5 and 6.
I mean, the next one, he's just like, do I get in a web all right? And then he's...
Oh God, I
That's-
don't even want to go on
Yeah.
Halloween 5.
No.
I watched all of them in the past 2 weeks in preparation for this episode.
I barely watched this movie and for the preparation.
She's having nightmares. How the fuck? Like we said, how the fuck does she even know what he fucking looks like?
I bet they
think
put it in the newspaper or something.
No.
Honestly, dude, this
Well,
town.
as much as like those
Okay.
kids, I forgot the kids. They actually even know
Yeah.
that he's her uncle.
Jamie's
You're
mommy's
an
a mummy.
orphan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
These-
shitty kids.
These
Jesus.
fucking
Real
kids,
the worst.
these fucking kids that like, ooh, you have a mask on? Come join us. Let's go trick or treating now. You're cool.
Yeah.
Why would you go with them?
It was the same kids.
It
by
was
way.
the same
was,
kids.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh, it
Okay,
had- yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they were assholes.
They're like,
I
oh,
would
you're
not
cool
go.
now because we like your costume.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how kids are. That's how
Yeah.
shallow and stupid
It's
they
true.
are. Really.
It
I
is
guess
true.
that is
Maybe I should don't.
And
Maybe,
it's like you want to be accepted so much as a kid. You're not holding a grudge against them for
But they-
ruthlessly berating you at school early to the point of tears.
they
Yeah.
said really like personal shit.
Oh yeah. Every time we watch this, Jamie's an orphan. It's
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
I know.
Awful.
Like, what the fuck, man? Don't go to those kids. Those kids are bad. You don't want no respect.
But yeah, the whole town knows, so she had to know. Like she
But
knows.
I mean,
Michael
this sort of
Myers.
ties into the last episodes and dreams. I mean, we have dreams. You see people in your dreams you've never seen in your
Yep.
life.
Ooh,
There's
that's
probably
true.
someone that looks like that out there.
Yeah.
But you've never seen them. I mean, I know this is a weird connection, but also flash forward to Halloween 5, she has a psychic connection to Michael.
That's what
yeah, I know.
that-
I figured
and
with
that's
that
where-
with the ending, but
I think they were planting that seed early.
Also,
I'm not giving them that much credit, Abe.
also in the 6, has anybody seen the 6?
Yes, that was
years
actually the
ago.
first one I
You
saw.
have?
First one I've seen.
Yeah, in the movie theater.
Okay, so Michael Myers gets Jamie pregnant in the 6th one?
Yeah, he
With
does.
a baby?
Yep.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, yep.
Well,
He
the-
impregnates
fuck
Jamie.
what the fuck was going on
Well-
with the 6th one,
What the-
guys?
what the
I'm
fuck-
sorry, but what the fuck was that?
What the fuck
shit?
is going on with this
took
whole
a-
family?
It took them a long time to get to that point because most horror movie franchises they'll make it about 5 in and then they just total batshit crazy.
And they went batshit crazy in this, and,
So-
and it's got Paul Rudd.
Once again, doing the whole like writing yourself in a corner, they introduced the Man in Black, who's this mysterious guy who you see in a black cloak and stuff. they go back and they ask him like, what was your actual intentions? And they're like, we don't know. We just wanted to introduce him to our protagonist.
I don't know. Look cool.
Well, then, yeah, by Halloween 6, they were like, Halloween 5 was a sort of big flop, and they were like, what do we do? How do we tie this in?
Incest.
It was
Incest. That's the answer.
Yeah, it was before, now we just go, well, let's start over. They do that
Yeah,
now. Everything
yeah.
is just starting over. But with that, it was like, we have to figure out a tie-in. Well, let's make this Man in Black a cult leader, and this cult convinced Michael to sleep. And
Yeah.
I mean, Halloween
It's
6
nuts, man.
can be its own podcast series
Its own
because
podcast,
there's
yeah.
I mean, there's Halloween 6 and there's Halloween 6 producer's cut, which I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes, I did.
I watched the producer's cut. I didn't watch the original one.
I've
I
seen
just
Okay,
watched
you
the-
didn't watch theatrical, so
Nope,
yeah, that's
nope.
a whole different interesting story because of Donald Pleasance died
Yeah,
right after they
yeah.
finished. They had to go
that's
back
sad.
and change the whole story because he was supposed to be the protagonist going forward. Like Michael put the curse on him. Then he's dead. It's like, well, shit, we can't do that now.
Yeah.
and then they didn't end up doing a sequel to Halloween 6.
that
anyways.
way it ended
Yeah.
abruptly.
Right. So it's not saying that either one is less crazy because it is still fucked up to think like Michael got her pregnant, and it's not. It went from what like 88 or 89 to like 96
Ni- yeah, it
before
was
we
like
got
90
the next
yeah,
sequel.
it
Yeah,
was
like
like
mid
95,
90s,
96 something.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like, you're the last, so I gotta impregnate you so I can kill you, and then
So
let
I
the
have
kid
something
grow,
to do in the future.
Yeah, and let the kid grow up, impregnate the kid again, and that's it'll be an endless
then
cycle.
it's-
Yeah.
We know that
Cycle, incest cycle.
Paul Rudd explains it all with like the ruins, the ancient ruins, and the stars and the
Like
astronomy.
the
and,
curse
Yeah,
of Thorn.
and he was Tommy from the original. He was the little kid you were babysitting.
yeah,
right, and
yeah,
they tried to
it's
get
true.
him back for Halloween Kills, but his
I-
scheduling wouldn't allow.
I know.
I
wish.
saw that. Yeah, that would have
Damn,
been
that
awesome.
would have been
Yeah.
cool.
He's actually like really like open and cool about being in the Halloween franchise. He actually was
Damn it,
supposed
Paul
to.
Rudd's amazing.
I know
He
he
is.
was supposed to come
He's
to a
national
convention.
treasure.
He signed up for like a horror con to sign Halloween stuff.
What?
And Disney
That's
put their
cool.
foot down and they're
Oh.
like,
Damn.
you can, like they're like deep in your contract somewhere it says you can't
Mouse
do
house.
it. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but
that.
it's cool just to know that he was willing to like bring it on.
Yeah.
I accept all my fans no matter what. So
Cool. Yeah.
Well-
I like Paul Rudd. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So
back to Halloween 4.
yeah, I feel like we got into a tangent. Yeah.
This is what you get for inviting me onto a Halloween one, man.
But seriously, to reiterate, fuck the sixth one. I hated it. I thought it was worse than Insurrection or Resurrection. Yeah, Resurrection.
I think it's much better.
Yeah, I love
Do
it.
you? Oh,
Yeah.
I like Halloween.
I mean,
God.
it has a special spot. The first
I think
rated
it's-
R movie I saw in the theater.
I think
the
it's
first
because
Halloween I saw.
it was the first Halloween
yeah.
movie I saw. We rented it.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry, guys.
Oh man.
From a newbie to that one to the sixth one, I hated
Now it
it.
has a special place in my heart.
And I'd seen Resurrection years ago when it came out. And I hated it then. I still hated it this time. I just hated it a little bit less. Than the sixth one. Yeah. Also, Busta Rhymes has a fucking ninja fight with Michael Myers.
Garbage,
What the fuck?
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
Pick
the
up.
worst.
And then he's like
Yeah.
yelling at him too in another scene.
Oh yeah,
What
it's
the
Tyra
fuck?
Banks. Yeah,
They've had
it's-
some
it's
weird
a
ideas
piece
for
of
the
shit.
series.
Yeah, and that's directed by Rick Rosenthal, who directed Halloween 2.
Yeah,
it's like
Halloween
how
2.
the
You went from one of the best sequels
to
yes.
the war sequel. Yeah,
Yes.
shows how much writing,
Dude.
how strong writing,
Yeah.
Halloween
how
2
important writing is.
is fucking bomb, man. I love it.
It's weird because it's always sort of been beloved as like the best sequel, and just in the last like 3 or 4 years, it's been getting a lot of hate as like not a really good movie.
Really?
It's just loved because it was so close to Halloween 1.
No.
No,
False.
I liked it a lot.
Like
I
I
love it.
always watch them
Forever.
back to back.
Me too.
yeah, you have to. I mean, it just goes
There's
right
edits out
into
there
it.
where they're put together as one movie.
That'd be cool.
Whoa,
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yep. So, where the fuck were we, you guys? I don't
We've gotten
even know.
like 3 minutes into Halloween 4. She's having nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next morning is Halloween morning though, and Rachel's still bitch, and she's making Jamie cry because she doesn't want to babysit that.
But you
night.
know what? She got come up with fucking Brady. Fuck that guy.
The boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
put his name anywhere in this whole thing. It's just the boyfriend, the douchebag fucking
Yeah,
boyfriend.
the
From Days of
douchebag Brady.
Confused.
Yep.
Yeah, like Days Confused and Buffy, right?
Yeah, and Buffy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the movie, not the show.
Yeah, the show.
I don't
didn't
like the
know
show.
Which one?
I like the movie myself.
I love the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Whatevs, the show's bomb.
Well, I started watching the first season. Katie
Don't
made me
get
start
off on a
watching it.
tangent.
Okay. Back to this. Back to this.
Back to the
Tell me afterwards.
Okay,
to our Buffy episode.
So, Dr. Loomis from the first two, still played by Donna Pleasance, owning the fucking role. He shows up deeply scarred from when he died in the second one. Loomis is on the fucking case, and I love this badass.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest, he doesn't look that bad for being in a
No.
fucking fire
No,
in the
my God,
hospital.
no.
He doesn't look horrible.
I think
It's
they
like
were-
a donut-sized scar on his
Right.
face.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's
they
it.
were gonna do more, and Donald Pleasance was sort of like,
Nah.
"You want me back?" Like, no, I'm not doing this. And this is what I've always loved about it too. I've always had a soft spot for like 4 through 6 because
Yeah.
I felt like Jamie Lee Curtis got so much credit for the first one, and then she sort of begrudgingly, just like Carpenter, came back for a second one because they needed her. It was like, I guess I'll take a boatload of money.
I guess.
Donald Pleasance, when he did the first one, was the star. Like at that time, he was distinguished English actor.
It's only his name before the
Right,
name of the
and
movie.
they only
And it
had him
says
for like
featuring
they had him like
Jimmy.
for 2 days or something. I mean, he was the star of Halloween 1, and then it's like he sort of became the face of the Halloween franchise, right next to like the main adversary compared to Jamie Lee Curtis. But then later, after he passed, when Jamie Lee Curtis came back, to me, I was always like, almost like two teams, like Donald Pleasance versus Jamie Lee Curtis. I've always preferred Donald Pleasance myself.
Huh. I actually got to thinking like the same thoughts this past week because I had never seen those before, those three, the fourth, fifth, and sixth ones. So I never really got to dive deep into the Loomis-Michael Myers relationship before. And I really like that compared to his relationship with like the sisters and the ones where he was
Right.
the brother and shit like that. You know what I mean? I like the Donald Pleasance, the Loomis angle a lot
Yeah,
more.
and it always felt like he was almost too big for the first one, and then as his career sort of dwindled down as he got
Diet,
older,
fading.
those movies became more important for him too. And of course he's probably it's all for a paycheck or whatever.
Yeah.
He'll do the sequels, but it's interesting to think like he was almost too big for the first one, and now he's going all the way through part 6, and then on the other end, Jamie Lee Curtis was like a nobody for the first one. He basically cast her because of who her parents were.
Yeah, basically.
And then she became too big to do the sequels. It's like they reversed.
Yeah.
You know.
And then she came back
then she
years
came
later,
back, yeah.
which is
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Well,
you
she
know-
comes back every 20 years, right?
Yeah, something like that. And Rob Zombies did this huge rant about the Dr. Loomis character that I've always disagreed with. He was like, people love that character, but in the sequels, he just became this like stammering crazy old man that just screamed the entire movie. He's like, he's crazy, the darkest eyes, the blackest eyes, he's out there, and I mean, he is very energetic and sort of crazy, but he's chasing a serial killer.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to me, Donald Pleasance has been sort of the glue. Like these wouldn't even be watchable without him.
And if you notice, and like in this movie especially, the only person Michael Myers filled with Donald Pleasant,
Yeah.
Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
They always had that link, and
Yeah.
and he obviously protects Jamie throughout this movie, and I love Donald Pleasance.
So do I.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it's cool that like he was a huge actor before this, and like you said, he was too big for it. But then like that's like now. Like this is what he's known for, really.
Right.
Like you think,
I
like you
couldn't
hear
think of-
Donald Pleasance,
yeah.
you think of Halloween.
Yeah.
So after taking a stroll through Michael's bloody ambulance wreck crime scene, he tracks Michael to a gas station where Michael is in the process of killing some motherfuckers. And here we get a wrench foo.
Okay.
Yep, in this scene.
You were peeing.
I'll say
That'd be
the straight jacket was when they're at the opening when they're transporting him. They walk past and the guy has a straight jacket. And that's when he says Jesus.
Oh,
That's the
gotcha.
straight
Okay.
jacket foo. Yeah, just
Okay.
want to make sure you have all your foos are there.
Gotta have the foos.
We're gonna keep track of them too as we go, guys. So here we have a Loomis-Michael confrontation. Loomis tries to talk sense into Michael, but instead Michael ducks some bullets, explodes Loomis's car, and then takes out the fucking phone lines by the highway. Michael's a badass motherfucker,
Oh, he
guys.
is.
And this,
Jesus.
it's in, like Carpenter in the first one wanted to make him sort of like
He was real restrained with him.
the shape. In this movie, he's straight up like magic. He shoots at him and he's just gone.
Yeah, he's just
He
gone.
vanishes. Like we don't see. Yeah.
After a 10-year coma, he should doing all this.
Yeah, he's doing all of this shit. His legs are just fine from not walking for 10
And he
years.
knows how to, what power lines are.
Right. Knows how to drive perfectly well.
Yeah.
And then, here we get our first break. Joe Bob comes in and he tells us some cool facts about the episode so far. I wrote down a couple that I thought were pretty interesting. The beginning credit shots were filmed in the spring in Utah. Actually, I think you just said that, didn't
Right,
you?
yeah.
Which blows my mind because it's like the opposite season. Because when everything's coming to life, looks like the death of our seasons here. It's just weird.
I mean, Haddonfield, Illinois, is a fictional place, but we can drive 5 miles, go across the bridge, and we're in Illinois. Like we are in the shit where this takes place.
Right. If you watch Halloween 6, when Paul Rudd, he's at the. There's like a bus station, and there's a map that shows where Haddonfield would be on the map. It's like it's in between like Chicago and here. Like it'd be drivable. Yeah,
probably
pretty close.
be like a 2.5 hour.
Yeah,
I'd say, drive.
Yeah, so we're within Michael's reach.
Yeah.
And Haddonfield was like
Watch
it was
out.
like Haddonfield, New Jersey, I believe, is where the inspiration came from Deborah Hill.
And really, the Loomis says, I think he already said it in from where I am in the notes, but he says that it's that Haddonfield from where the ambulance wreck was, it's a 4-hour drive. So really, that's probably like an hour. That could be like an hour south of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could just drive right through Burlington. Anyways, I'm dumb. The mental hospital at the beginning was really a supermax prison. I like that. That was kind of cool. And once you hear that, it kind of makes sense. It kind of looks like a supermax prison.
It does.
Yeah. And then he shows some fun pictures of cosplay that people sent him. I like some of those, like some masks and stuff like
the
that.
guy, he's ballsy as hell. The one who actually goes out dressed as Michael Myers, carrying around a giant kitchen knife.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Well, he's basically like the teenagers in this movie in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then before taking us back to the movie, he talks a little bit about the producer, Mustafa Akkad, the original money man from the franchise. Eventually, he came to own 100% of the interest after John Carpenter and Deborah Hill sold him the rights, their shares of the stakes. But he was a Syrian Muslim director and is very highly regarded in the Middle East, just for his movies. Yeah.
It kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of did me too.
Yeah, I was just like, wow.
Yeah. Here's something that I didn't know until this. How have I never seen this Phantom of the Opera movie with Robert Englund?
Yeah.
And this director?
Yeah.
Dwight Little, yeah.
Yeah, I never even knew that Robert Englund was... is he the Phantom?
Yep.
Oh my god,
Really?
I've got to see this movie.
Very Freddy Krueger vibes. Like
Really?
we're like, how close can we get to Freddy without like getting sued for copyright? Like the cover looks like he has like like the scarred side of his face. I'm like, that's Freddy with like a half.
They should do that with more characters in the public domain. Like they should do like that with like have Freddy with or Robert Englund with Freddy vibes doing like Frankenstein or something like that. Or he's playing the monster.
It's like polar opposite though, because Freddy's the jive talker.
Yeah, he's more. Jason's more of.
Maybe Dracula.
Jason would be closer to Frankenstein.
So then he goes on a rant about Free Willy 2.
Loved it. Loved it.
How can you free Willy? He's already free. Yeah.
He's already free. How do you have a second one? Because that's the same director as this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Talk about
he has such a weird filmography.
Well, I'm sure like Halloween 4 was like, a job. Like, Mustafa was like, how can we maximize our money? It was, low budget. He was not, the first one was made for next to nothing. And then 2 was picked up by Universal after, the huge success. And they did 3. And then it was like, Halloween 4 was like, okay, Mustafa needs to make this on cheap from Compass.
Yeah.
And
each one I noticed, because they always break down, like, you see the breakdowns of like the budget to the box office and stuff. And they've kept the budgets low enough on all of these Halloween movies to where each one hasn't technically lost any money.
Right, even if it's considered a
bomb or something.
It's still not in the the deep. So
like even Resurrection, I think if I remember correctly, it was like $17 million budget, and then it made 31 at the box office.
Oh,
the fuck? How many fucking people?
That movie blew my mind.
I saw that in the theater. I apologize.
That one blew my mind because
it
it just. following up H2O, which to me was huge at the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
at the
that was
time.
having Jamie Lee Curtis back, and then you followed up with like a whimper.
Yeah.
Like that movie just it sucks. It didn't. I don't think it even played in Burlington. Where did you see it in theaters?
Iowa City, probably.
Yeah, we
Iowa
had to go
City.
to like Blake and I think went to Iowa City.
Yeah, I did. No, like, really?
I just saw Blake yesterday.
Yeah. And then how are you going to kill her and then she'd, like, pretend, like, ooh,
Yeah.
she
had-
changed with an AMT.
Well, she had a contractually obligated appearance in that movie, but
Yeah.
like not to be in like a full on role. So yeah, to me it was like a big slap in the face to not only the fans but the franchise. Like but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah. This isn't the Resurrection podcast, right?
Let's just bury that and not resurrect it forever.
Boo.
Good try. So Jamie gets out of school, and as she's trying to get her coat, that's where everybody's like just being a fucking raging
Fuck
dick
those
to her.
kids.
Yeah.
Fuck
those-
them.
Fuck kids in general, man.
Except his costume, which I loved because it was like a weird like red skeleton thing.
Yeah.
Or skeleton.
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 Tim is
Yeah,
from
is-
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes. But no, he's wearing a shirt that just says mask in huge letters.
Oh, I love it.
I was like, what is this costume of?
I think Mask was like like either a cartoon or like a line of action figures.
Yeah.
So it is a character from that, but I just seen the retro Halloween in this
Oh, yeah.
movie like
Yeah.
gives me the biggest Halloween boner. I fucking dude, like the cutouts,
Yeah,
the
it's
blow molds,
awesome.
everything. Like that's what this one feels the most Halloweeny of the entire franchise.
It makes you feel like you're a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Besides,
yeah.
That's
besides
what you
Halloween
remember.
Part 3. That
Yeah, absolutely that too. But like, there's something about this one that triggers in my brain. Like, this movie is like the background noise of fall to me. Like, AMC plays it so much during Monster Fest for the last 15 years. It's guaranteed to always be on at least twice a day from like October 1st till November 1st.
Like this one specifically.
Yeah, and it's
Nice.
weird. I own it on, DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, every format, and I don't know if I've even cracked those open because I either watch it on I've watched it on Joe Bob or I watch it on AMC, and there's something about it, like seeing it edited and having it on cable in the background. I'm just working on other things or doing something else, and it's on. Is like, we played it a few years ago at the Capitol, and it was sort of like, I know this movie almost too well, where I can't even like focus on it because I know every word and every line, and the noise is just like white noise to me almost.
Well,
Yeah.
so like you watch it now and you just feel like you should be doing something else while
Right.
you watch it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I was curious on, like the transfer that they chose for this. Like there was like constantly on screen like things being like they looked like they were moving. Like I don't know, like does he choose like film or like has it been remastered? Or?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too, like how Shudder chooses it for his show, because they showed like Little Shop of Horrors as the last finale for this last third season, and it looked like complete dog shit. It was almost unwatchable. It looked and sounded like crap, and it's like, I know there's better transfers on YouTube for free to watch. It's in the public domain. Why? And it's always been weird because this has been remastered. It's coming out in 4K in October. Like, I guess it's not so much about the movie, but you think if it's available, like,
Why not?
use it?
Why not?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a choice of Joe Bob's to use like
to make it more nostalgic kind of thing.
Right.
Like a
'cause it's-
copy from the original. or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
like they would use on USA back in
or
the day.
if it's because it's streaming with, I don't know, the way they have to edit it. I really don't know. I'm curious about that too, because I've noticed on some of the episodes, it's like, why didn't we get to see the nice clear, like I'm always a stickler for like, if I have a movie I want to watch the nicest like transfer of it.
You know what we could do?
Go to ToneFlix.
I'm gonna ask.
Oh,
Okay.
Just gonna tweet
Okay,
him and
okay.
find out.
I was way off. What the fuck?
You're gonna go to ToneFlix?
I was gonna be like, go to ToneFlix. I got all my So she runs from the Dick Kids, and Rachel and her friend Lindsay pick her up. Jamie has decided she's a big girl and she can stand to go trick or treating this year. I think it's her first time ever going trick or treating.
Yeah, but she wants to get ice cream.
Yeah.
Double scoops.
Double scoops.
Double scoops. So cute.
So they have to decide: are they going to get double scoops first, or go to the discount mart first? So they go to the discount mart first. Rachel's douche boyfriend. What'd you say his name was, Tone?
Brady.
Brady.
Fuck you, Brady.
Fuck you, Brady. Jesus
And
Christ.
Wade, like Wade at the
his little friend.
And what was the name of the one
Fuck off,
one
Wade.
girl that he was fucking instead of Rachel?
I didn't write her
Kelly.
name down either. Fuck her.
Yeah, fuck. Well,
Kelly
he did.
Meeker.
Yeah, Kelly.
Ah,
She was at Halloween Palooza recently.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Shit.
no.
you don't have to like the character.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like
You're
that
fine.
character.
You're supposed to
She's
hate the
mean.
character.
Yeah.
It's like Spider.
Fuck you, dude. Spider was awesome.
Nah, she was a bitch.
One of the best characters in that movie,
Nah.
besides the imp.
No,
All right.
I like the fat guy.
Yeah, I liked the fact.
Okay, anyways, go
Jamie, so Jamie picks out a clown outfit as Rachel breaks the bad news to her boyfriend that she has to babysit that night. Boyfriend doesn't take it very well.
That's a sign.
Yeah,
that's a red flag.
yeah,
Like,
you should
bye.
break up with that motherfucker right there. Also Jamie sees Michael twice in the dressing room when she's in there. She sees. I thought that was kind of cool. She's
Like little version of
version.
original, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom. And also, if she doesn't, even if she did ever see Michael Myers,
She
right?
wouldn't have saw
She wouldn't have seen the
young
little
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. She wouldn't have
Well,
known
there might have
that.
been
Oh, but she
picture.
probably remembers the
There
mask.
might have been a picture somewhere.
Yeah. Of the mask
Although
in
you
the
would
newspaper.
think, though, if
You guys
if
are stretching.
she-
Nah,
Stretch
That's
Armstrong.
not a stretch.
Stretching.
The whole damn town and little kids knew.
Yeah.
That means that, you know.
That the little Michael though, 1963 was people still. I guess it's a very big event in town.
Yeah.
He killed his sister, but
Yeah.
would you know?
But you'd also think that if she knew about that, would she still want to dress up as a clown for Halloween this year?
right.
Ooh.
So that I don't
Very
know.
similar.
I think it's supposed to play on the foreshadowing kind of thing.
All right.
I think so.
Anyways,
But-
so Loomis is from there. Loomis is hitchhiking to Haddonfield since Michael left him stranded. He gets a ride from the second coolest priest I've ever seen on celluloid. I like one of his lines here. He says, "I saw it clear as breasts and blue suede shoes." I love this priest.
I want
You're hunting it all right.
I want a spin-off between these two.
I know, right?
A buddy road travel movie.
Yes.
Rachel takes Jamie trick-or-treating. While they're out, Michael sneaks into Jamie's bedroom and finds the photographic evidence that he needs to tell him that he does have a niece. I like that he goes looking for
Yeah,
evidence.
he goes in the house and finds a shoebox.
before he goes to kill her, he's gonna make sure, but he's
Yeah.
killing everybody else in his way.
Right.
Yeah, just kill the girl. Who cares if it's your niece or not?
Oh, he killed because
He just
how's
want to
it-
kill someone
You
innocently.
just want to make sure.
because
you have the right
what if you have to
girl.
impregnate them in a future movie?
Oh, that's true. You gotta make sure you're
You gotta
fucking
make sure.
the right niece.
What the fuck?
I don't know. That was bad wording. Then Joe Bob... Sorry, Ashlyn. Joe Bob comes in for a second time, and he talks about the actor playing the priest, which I thought was awesome. I just love that Joe Bob always comes in with these just great information about shit.
See, I liked his analysis of the truck ride with the priest.
Yeah.
On how, like, you... Because I didn't catch a lot of it. I felt like there was a lot going on in there, a lot more than what they were letting on to.
Yeah.
But when he said, like, it was like Loomis meeting himself, and he just realized it for the first time. And, like, I don't know, it's just really... I love that they have that kind of subtext in a horror movie or in a movie like this. You wouldn't expect
Yes.
it.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
Halloween 4, and you're
Right.
like, oh, it's just a crazy preacher. But then,
Yeah.
he sort of talks a little bit about, how he's looking at a reflection. He's like, you're hunting it too, ain't
Yep.
you?
Yep.
You know, damnation.
It's great. So then after that, he reads some theories from fans on why Michael Myers is crazy.
Oh,
Ashton was yelling at the TV at this
Oh,
point.
at which ones? Because he does it
Well, no,
on a
at-
couple different
Oh,
breaks.
She was
man.
more yelling at Joe Bob, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he says that it's not a good enough explanation that he can just be born bad. But I've already had this talk with you guys on New Genre-ish that I totally believe that people can just be born with their fucked up brains.
Right.
And they can be bad. That is enough for me. Like, that's
See,
exactly what I
think he was thinking more in terms of the movie itself.
That's still a good explanation, though.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
to me, it's always been better that it's not explained.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
something clicked, and then we never know because he's silent. But I also... Joe Bob has a show to make, and if it was that simple, then he would have to, you know,
Oh, yeah.
that would be a really quick episode. Like, you
Yep.
know, he sort of plays along. If you watch the first one, he's that's where it starts. Is
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, I want people to write in, and he's trying to think of a way to be interactive with the fans. So he's like, you know, why do you think Michael's crazy?
And
that follows
when
into
he's
this.
reading all of these, he doesn't basically doesn't agree with like any of them as it goes.
Oh, no,
Is it
no.
the same? I take it
And
that
that's
it's the
his-
same way throughout the first and the
Yeah,
fifth
and
ones, too?
that's his shtick
That's
too.
funny.
Is that, you know, he doesn't agree with the fans to get people riled up and to get Darcy
Yeah.
riled up too, because she's like, you know, that makes sense, and he's like, no.
Yeah, I can see that.
is this where the Chris Jericho tweet was?
It isn't, but that's.
No.
Did you like that though?
Yeah, I did.
Have you
Chris
seen?
Jericho
Have you watched
part?
any of the ones with Jericho?
He's
No.
actually on.
He co-host
episode.
Blood Feast, and
No,
he's
I-
on another one. They have a song
Yeah,
together.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've not watched a lot of the new one yet, but I've been trying.
Yeah.
But I did not know he was in. Chris Jericho was in. That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
that's another Darcy thing because she's a huge wrestling fan and
Yep.
she's friends with Jericho, so she brought him on.
She's awesome.
Because
Yeah.
even in this, she was like kind of she got a couple messages from him
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. I thought that was awesome. So he gets Joe Bob here gets into an argument with Darcy about Halloween 3 because she likes it so much. Also, I had seen Halloween 3 before, and then I rewatched it again this time. I don't understand why it got so much hate back then.
Just because
of
of
the
the
Halloween 3,
yeah.
no Michael Myers.
Just
What-
no-
there's no
the
Michael
Just no Michael Myers.
expectations.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
expectation.
But everybody just like dismissed it because of that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just insane
I
to
can
me.
totally
people
see
still
it.
do
Because
it.
it's a legit
People
good movie.
dismissed movies for a lot less than that, dude.
Do you like Halloween 3 just as a standalone movie?
Oh, one of my favorites of all time.
yeah,
I
it's
love
so
it. That,
good.
I
that
love it
doctor
to
guy
death.
is so creepy, and I love it.
But you also have to put
main
yourself.
character?
It's
Yeah,
so
like-
mean.
yeah, like,
it kills
well,
innocent
that-
children. Like
yeah.
you can't
Yeah,
do that now. You can
it
never
does.
make it.
They put that mask
No.
on. The
Kill
shit,
every
oh my
child in
God.
the country,
It's like
yeah.
their faces like
Yeah.
melting,
And then
shit.
like the
Awesome.
guy was like, "Would you want me to sleep in the hotel room?" And I'm like,
yeah. And did they bone right?
"Yeah, they
before
boned."
that?
Oh, yeah.
No, after that.
Okay.
Well, Tom Atkins just sort of plays that like manly character that we can't really have anymore. You know, where he's
Yeah.
just like.
Has an awesome
He has
mustache.
he has
and,
an
fucks
ex-wife
the
at home
girls
who's
and-
nagging,
Yeah,
and watching
and
the
he
kids. He works too much.
and
I'm
he
gonna go on a
just-
road trip with a hot chick.
Yeah, he just fucks everything that walks in. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He saved the day.
well, that's what I think Darcy makes a joke about. You know, like Tom Atkins is gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna have him beat your ass.
He
Like,
probably still could.
oh yeah, he's still doing the convention circuit.
He's a
still doing
fucking
movies.
brute back then.
Yeah.
Then we're actually right there. We go back to the movie. Also, again, I want to say I love the chemistry between Darcy and Joe Bob.
Yeah.
I think they have just such an easy chemistry together. They're really good. They play off really good each other so good. So Loomis, back to the movie. Loomis makes it to Haddonfield and lets the new sheriff know that Michael's on the loose. They're out trick or treating. Jamie makes some friends while they're out trick or treating.
Those goddamn fucking kids.
Those fucking kids again.
Don't
All-
trust
She
them.
needs friends.
Not them fucks.
yeah,
Chief
them
New Battle.
fucks. It's fine.
So the kids knock on a door, and Rachel's boyfriend is inside with the sheriff's daughter, Kelly.
Hell
Yep.
yeah, he is.
Kelly.
Cops do it by the book.
Getting it.
Cops do it by the book.
I didn't realize that was his daughter,
Right, Yep.
and I was
Sheriff
really
Baker's
confused by that shirt. I'm like, that has to be some kind of like hidden message or something.
Yeah, that's like the especially 80s movie trope of like, you know, and it's actually pretty true in real life. Like, I don't know if you guys know anybody whose parents are cops, but they seem
Yeah.
to like be rebellious as kids. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
think we all do.
I love Brady's explanation of him trying to dig himself out of this hole, and he just keeps getting deeper and
just
it's
getting
like, you just
deeper.
pissed me off.
Why does he
so,
keep? Yeah, why does he keep going?
I don't know.
He's like, what if you just come inside and all three of us have some fun?
Yeah.
Let's have
And
a
I-
three with
what
it.
did you expect? You blew
Men
me
have
off.
needs.
Yeah, you blew me off
That's
one
so
night.
disgusting.
So yeah,
Fuck that guy.
That character
that
is
guy.
in literally every 80s movie. I guarantee it.
Can you imagine as a kid though, you go up to the sheriff's door and his daughter answers in nothing but like a long T-shirt and she looks like that? I'd be like, even as a kid, holy shit, like what is she doing? Like, you know,
and then he gives him his whole dad gives him a gun like if you don't go up my daughter, and he doesn't even reply. He just walks away.
yeah, too late. I already did that.
Oh, he did.
the douche boyfriend is chasing after her, and they're arguing. And before Rachel can ditch him, Jamie and her new friends have disappeared. So Rachel has to search around frantically.
She was talking for like a minute.
Yeah.
And
then all of a sudden this
girl's
kid-
like 5 blocks away.
Right, yeah.
Like she was searching hardcore.
Yeah, it seems neglectful, but it's like she didn't like really do anything wrong. She's talking for just a few
No,
seconds.
for a
And they're
second.
fucking gone.
Yeah.
It's like
She
those
did-
kids. I think those kids had an agenda, man. They were like, let's get her lost.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the
that
fucks.
could be it, actually.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, you know what?
Because
I
when
can
you
see
see
it.
her next after that,
She's
the
alone.
kids are gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's
they
my
ditched her.
note. I don't blame the baby Rachel at all. I say
Yeah.
fuck Jamie, because how dare her leave her sister
Yeah.
like that?
No, it's okay because you were friends.
No.
Fuck
I mean,
them
kids.
guys.
Kids,
I
dude.
was gonna say, as a kid, like wanting to be accepted is the most important
Yup.
thing. So, like, as soon as
Yeah.
a kid shows any like that they might possibly like you, you're gonna fucking bail on your mom, your sister, whoever.
Yeah.
That's true.
And if they're all if they're all trick or treating together, and you're with your like,
that's even
Your
more
older
true.
sister.
older
That's
sibling.
embarrassing.
Right.
I didn't trick or treat when I was little, so I don't have these frame of references.
That's
Oh, you
True.
probably couldn't.
No,
could
I
you?
didn't. Literally, my first time
Oh.
trick or treating was at
Dude.
the mall.
It's Halloween.
Oh.
That's the Satan's
Satan's birthday,
holiday,
dude.
bro.
My dad or my stepdad was a preacher, and I still got to go.
dude, I remember this is be a short story, but one time when I was a kid, we were trick or treating. It was like my friend Brett, his sister, and my mom took us out, and my mom was a teacher at the elementary school, so like all of my friends knew her, all the kids knew her because she's a teacher. And we were walking along, and this was like when every kid went out door to door trick or treating. It was like, just the streets were full of kids in every neighborhood. And these
Man, I
two
remember
kids,
those days.
ran by and stole a bag from my sister's friend Allison, and just took off running. And my mom was like, turned to my sister, was like, "Watch the kids," and she fucking like went after them. And
Your
she chased,
mom did?
Yeah, my mom did. And she chased them
awesome.
like 6 blocks down and got a hold of one of them. The other one ran off, but she got a hold of one of them. Was like, I'm taking you home, and he was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I want to talk to your mom." He's like, "No."
That was the worst.
Yeah. And so I remember we all had to like go back home and split our bags up to make her one bag because my mom didn't get the bag back, and I was sort of like upset about it. And my mom was like, "She has no candy on Halloween." I was like, "Okay, like I'll give her all the shitty candy."
Yeah.
Oh,
Give her all the
My mom was
sixlets and
like,
shit.
"I'm like, Mom, you could have been shot over a bag of candy. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
You
nowadays don't do
Oh,
that.
no.
I was like, she chased after this kid like several blocks. I just
Yeah,
remember as a
damn.
kid, like she was like right down the street like a track star.
In my head, I was
That's cool.
picturing her just like she gets the bag and he falls to the ground and she's like
Beating him
him
with
Yeah.
the bag.
with the bag. But I like yours better, or what actually the truth.
Yeah.
I like that better, where she's like, "I'm gonna tell your mom." Yeah, because that
That's
would
more
be fucking
scary.
worse.
Than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More the cops more than anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
telling
Oh
someone,
yeah.
Mom.
Don't tell. Yeah. So right here, I like this. We meet some crazy fellas sitting at a Haddonfield. Am I saying that right?
Haddonfield?
Yeah, Haddonfield.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Haddon.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I've heard it both ways.
I've never heard anyone say Haddonfield.
Me
So-
neither. Like this.
Sitting at a Haddonfield bar watching the news are a bunch of rednecks. The news says all residents in town need to go home and clear the streets, and that all businesses need to close down for the night.
He is
I
not
ain't-
happy.
I ain't closed for no
they're
good reason. I'm
pissed.
calling down there.
Yep.
Meeker.
And the phone rings like 3 times, like, "Oh, this isn't normal. Let's all go
something-
get in the trucks."
something's going
the
on.
phone just ringing. Ain't no way, no how. The phone just don't ring at the sheriff's office.
We got to
Yeah.
go check this
They're
out.
like, oh, yeah, it's on now. We got this.
Yeah. So basically,
God
he,
forbid the cops are busy on Halloween night.
basically he decides fuck it, and his redneck crew. I like how they all go with him. They go to check out the situation.
This is believable. I mean,
yes.
And
Yeah.
being in the
Yeah.
Midwest, anytime, I mean, if there's anything, the police are on your street, pull someone over,
Yeah.
every neighbor comes out, everyone
Yep,
wants to
you
look.
got to see what's going on.
Yeah, and if there's something like, people just want to be the hero. They want to
Yep.
be involved. They want to get their nose into shit. They don't need it.
It's funny because in the big cities, it's the exact opposite. Like, nope, I didn't say anything.
Yep,
And
lock
they're
your
like
door,
standing right
lock your door,
there.
go inside, fuck off. Like,
yeah,
don't talk to me.
We
Yeah.
will stand behind the cop listening on what's going on.
Yeah.
We don't care.
We'll chime into the story. No, he didn't do that.
No, he didn't. I just got here, but I know he didn't.
So here, Loomis and the sheriff, they search for Jamie. They search. Okay. Here, Loomis and the sheriff search Jamie's house and find that the dog's dead,
Poor Sunday.
which
Ah.
means Michael.
Well,
Yep.
I
props
hate
to
horror
props to
movies
Joe
that do
Bob
this.
because he warned you right at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a
And
good
I
dog.
was like, because the second I saw the dog for the first time, I'm like, okay, don't get attached. Don't
mean-
get attached to that dog.
Michael Myers kills some fucking dogs in this franchise.
I'm pretty
Lester
sure.
in the first movie.
I
he
think that's the
eats
first
him.
kill
Yeah.
in the first movie,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Besides the sister.
Yeah, he chokes Lester. You see his little paws hanging.
Oh, I hate it so much.
He is the Michael Vick of horror.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was good, dude.
That was good.
That was good.
Michael, yeah.
Forgot about that, dude.
So here, Bucky's next, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Bucky.
And people cosplay as Bucky. I've
I
seen
Yeah.
love
lots of
that.
Bucky's.
That's so
I
cute.
love that he's got the name. He's
Yeah.
See, I thought
he's
about
the
that
power
too.
company
I was
guy.
gonna make fun of that too. That he had, but then I was like, there's probably multiple guys that he doesn't want to get someone else's helmet.
That's right. That's nasty.
You got to label it.
Yeah.
I thought
You have a name like Bucky, you want to make sure it's prominent.
Oh,
People
yeah.
know it.
It's
He
on
know he
everything.
tells everybody his
Yep.
name. Everybody in town knows Bucky.
Michael shows up at the city's power grid, and Bucky is the poor soul that's working that night.
Yeah.
And he is
Poor guy.
he's in the movie for what, a minute?
He said,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stay
And he has
here, I'm
such a
calling the
following.
cops.
Stay here.
I thought about that scene, and
It's awesome.
you have to like flash back to like criminal life back then, like when there was no cell phones. What do you do?
What do you do?
You have no option. Like you either fight the guy, you're like, hold on,
on.
I'm gonna go call the cops.
You know what you do is you just tell him to move on. Like, get out of here, dude.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Skedaddle.
just, he's just hanging out. Like at that point, he wasn't like he was pulling cords or being belligerent. He's in a Halloween mask, but it's Halloween. Like,
Yeah.
you know, don't turn your back on him. That's for sure, man.
Yeah.
Also, that whole, yeah.
Just tell him to get.
Go on now,
Get. That's what we say here.
The whole, by the way, the whole city power grid and everything. It's there's a fence around it, like there usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what you always see. You didn't get to see Michael, by the way, hopping the fence.
Oh, he doesn't need to, dude.
I wanna see
You
him
don't
hop the
need to
fence.
see
It's
that. You
Michael.
know that
That-
he can't.
That's very
That's what I was
humanizing to
Yeah.
him. We don't
Yeah.
want to humanize
True.
him.
For real.
True.
Because I had
Just
that
wait
same
until-
thought later on in the movie, and we'll get to that part.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
I
I
think-
really wanted to see his actions in that part.
Okay, I think we're thinking the
Alright,
same
I hope
thing.
so.
I hope so.
He can't look weak. Anybody who
Exactly.
climbs a fence looks weak.
Oh, yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
look bad.
You can't.
No.
Rachel didn't do a terrible job of climbing. I think that's like some of the best 80s
She
fence
like
climbing.
pole vaulted over that shit.
She
Guys-
had no problem.
Guys,
Yeah, so you can't let this old ass man, this big ass
mean, it's-
motherfucker climb a fence
In a
and look
mask.
worse.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's hard to look cool and climb a
It
fence.
is.
have you
It
ever
is.
seen me climb a fence? I can make
It's
that look
terrible.
good.
You could just
It's
jump
terrible.
over the fence, man.
I
I've seen
know.
you jump. You got ups.
It's true. Have you seen the cats?
So here, more Rachel trying to find Jamie. She gets to an alley and she sees Michael, or who we think is Michael at the time, at the other end of the alley. So she runs the other way and pole vaults over a fucking fence. She finds Jamie like right after that. Like she is kind of looking for him, but then as soon as she sees Michael, boom, there's Jamie. Yep.
Yeah.
Convenient.
Which makes sense,
It
though.
does make sense because Michael's stalking her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, where
They'd be at the
Michael
same
is,
spot.
Jamie's going to be
Jamie's
near.
not far
I mean,
behind.
Fuck you guys. That's a good reason.
I mean, that is his future baby mama.
God damn it. Oh.
We got to stop that. That's gross.
It's true. It happens.
We didn't
in the
write the
movies.
movie.
I know,
Yeah.
but let's just focus on this one for right now.
So, she like I said, she finds Jamie, and then, by the way, immediately also after that, Loomis and the sheriff pull up.
Oh, I wonder why. Oh, because he's looking for them.
Well, yeah, everybody's looking for everybody else in this movie. It's just
And that's why they're in
conveniently
close quarters.
right now in this like 1
Makes
minute.
sense.
What I love about it is how quickly, like, they're trick or treating. The streets are full of kids. Everybody's doing anything, and then, like,
Yeah.
soon as Jamie goes away, there's like fucking fog rolling, and no
Yeah.
nobody, no cars, no voice.
Yep.
It is eerie, like when she's walking around, when Rachel's walking around, but it's like. Did everybody just like at 7:00 fucking jump in, lock their doors, close their windows, all the lights off? There's like nothing out.
That's how we lived in the 80s, Tad.
But
Well, I
like,
guess at this point the transformer's taken out too.
Oh
so
yes,
maybe,
that's true. The power would be out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
power's
so
out. Everybody's at home finding candles and shit.
yeah.
all the kids are
Good
out in their
thinking.
Michael
I
Myers
didn't-
masks.
Yeah, after
We're-
all these times, didn't think about
Yeah.
that.
We're just all correcting each other today.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. We're getting deep into it.
So then they get surrounded by like 6 Michaels right there.
And what this whole scene, holy shit! I mean, what is Loomis plays it straight, and so
Oh,
does
they
Sheriff.
build it. They
But
build it
why?
up.
I mean, why would you not? After you see 2, you'd instantly know it's a prank.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, but every one of
But
them
their
like,
idea is like he's somehow fucking replicated himself.
Which could have happened. I mean,
he's cloned himself. Holy shit!
Hey, this is not Rob Zombie Halloween. We're good.
What's the one kid say? He's like, "Don't shoot, got you," and he pulls off his mask. Like, he almost fucking died. Yeah, right?
He's
Fucking
laughing.
white
brag
privilege.
about it.
that kid, yeah, he's got some balls because he waits until
No,
the last
yeah.
possible
Right.
second. He's got the finger on the trigger, ready to pull it.
Because I think Meeker looks around, and he goes, "Oh Jesus, Doc, what do we?" And it's
What do
like-
we do with all
Yeah.
these Michaels?
Yeah, it's like what were after this? I said after the second one, you would these are kids fucking with us, not that he somehow cloned himself into fucking on 6 Michaels, but they had to go out and find the masks that look just like the movie, which we'll get on the mask at some point.
Yeah. How each mask is fucking different,
Right.
Yeah.
from movie to movie.
Which one did not even tuck it in?
Halloween 5 has
That's
the big neck hanging.
Yeah, that's it. And he said refused to tuck it in. Yeah, I remember that.
Here, we find out that they're all just little asshole kids. And then we go to our third break for Joe Bob. And he talks about Loomis's face wound being different in each shot. And he talks about Bucky, the technician, because you have to talk about
Why not?
Bucky,
Yep.
Bucky, the
Bucky.
technician.
I love that he has a little following. I think that's adorable.
Especially
Well,
since
yeah.
like he's not known in anything
Yeah.
else.
And
Love it.
he's got the website and everything.
Yeah.
Love
yeah, that's awesome.
Which I need to go to that website, buckyspowergrid.com.
Well, and I
think
heard
it was.
because I listened to quite a few podcasts and stuff talking about the Halloween franchise, and I did hear about that website before. And on the podcast, they went to the website, and I think it's been up since like the '90s, like whenever like people started
The early days of the internet.
yeah, the early days of the
Oh,
internet and
wow.
shit like that. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So one of the like first, not one of the first, but
Right.
yeah, one
Yeah.
of the fairly
Old school website.
old school
Yeah.
is about Bucky from Halloween 4. So random. I love it. So he also goes into the curse of Thorn a little bit right here, which is, we kind of talked a little bit about it on, yeah.
No, just looking
Oh.
at Tony, because waiting for him to make an incest joke. The Thorn all goes back to incest. So.
In
Let's hear
time, Tad. I had nothing.
Okay.
You can't put me on the spot like that. Like,
Not about incest jokes, right, Tom?
no.
I gotta be organic.
Yeah.
Okay. Just go. While reading more, he reads more theories from the viewers' emails, and he says one right here, and I kind of had to write it down because you were here.
Yep. It's on my notes, too.
Weezer music wasn't around then. That's why he went loco.
I thought of Tad when he said that.
I did too.
I did not write that comment, but it's actually because Darcy is also a huge Weezer fan.
huge Weezer fan.
She tries to get it, Weezer mentioned every episode as an ongoing joke too.
Oh, really?
So she probably wrote that one in to make Joe Bob say it. She finds connections somehow, like between Weezer and horror. So
And then he talks a little bit about Danielle Harris too. She was 11, not 7, when they filmed this.
Yeah, because she was
That's
born in
crazy.
77.
And then she also kept the clown costume and trick or treated in it. The actual
That's cool.
costume.
That's
cool.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
I wonder if she met any friends.
And then he scolds.
They're probably dicks. Fuck kids.
Yeah, fuck kids. And then he scolds people from conventions that tell Danielle Harris that they watch these movies because they have a crush on her.
Careful.
Yo.
Oh, I wasn't even gonna make any weird jokes.
No, I think it was more the way you stuttered. We thought you were trying to tiptoe.
Yeah.
We watched for the podcast a couple months ago. We watched Holliston, and they, in one of the episodes, because she's on a couple of those episodes, and one of them they go into creepy guys at conventions that
Oh, we didn't get that far.
Yeah.
Nope.
you didn't.
No.
she's like, a convention staple.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and she's actually been on I think she's talked on Ellen or Oprah or one of those daytime talk shows about how she had a serious stalker from when she was like young. So I've met her again at Crypticon St. She was like 2 tables down from Joe Bob, and she was sort of standoffish like me and Jason. Jason really wanted to get a picture with her, and I was like, oh, I'll go do it too. And we went, and she was sort of standoffish, but I'm like, you have to understand, like, she's a pretty girl at a horror convention,
Yep.
like sweaty, smelly,
With all-
weird
Nasty
guys.
ass
Want to
Hit on,
get
hit on
close
her,
to possible.
right? Hit her on all the time. I'm like, it's even. I wouldn't even be here if I was her. So you have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's a little, standoffish. Like, she basically was on her phone until we gave her the cash. She stood up, got the picture, and was back at her table. I've heard other people have great interactions, so I don't take it personal.
No. Yeah, I just I feel bad for her
Because I heard-
like, calm the fuck down, guys.
Yeah,
Right?
fucking
Jesus
guys.
Christ.
I
We're
heard the same
She's
thing
an
about
actress, man.
Natalie Portman in The Professionals. I heard
Yeah.
she got
Oh,
a lot of
lot.
shit.
And she was like
because of that.
14 in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
Come on.
Jesus
People are
Christ.
gross.
And then back to the movie. Loomis
I thought it was kind of cool because a couple other things he mentioned. She's 4'11", which blew my mind a little bit.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
She's tiny.
Yeah,
I
I'm like
thought-
grown up,
tall.
4'11".
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But
She
also
is
that
tiny.
she got herself emancipated so she could be in the 6th movie, and then she decided not to do it, like because
Yeah.
of the story or something. I thought that was
It was
really
story
cool.
and budget. Like they didn't want to pay her a fair amount, and
Right.
and it was sort of weird too because the story like aged her. I mean, she was. 96 or 95, 96 when they filmed Halloween 6. So you think about the gap. She probably could have played the role, but she still looks way younger than she
yeah.
does now. I mean,
Yeah.
she was playing a 7-year-old at 11. So
Yeah.
you flash forward to having her pregnated
Yeah.
by Michael. Like that would have just
Yeah.
been even weirder.
It was
because
weird seeing her pregnant in Steak Land.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
and that was like a couple years ago.
Like it feels like she's my age, but she's considerably older than me. But
Yeah.
when you see her in person, she's she's obviously beautiful.
Yeah.
But she just looks. She has that she looks a
Young
lot
look.
younger than she is.
Right.
So yeah, look for Jason's picture with her because she's like if she's 4 feet.
Oh my
Jason's
gosh, I
huge.
didn't even think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, he's way tall.
Yeah. He got a Boy Meets World picture signed by her because that's like his favorite
Awesome.
TV show.
Love it.
So Loomis and the sheriff, they get to the cop station, and guys, they find a fucking massacre.
Yeah.
I don't know where
wanna
he found
see
the
that.
time.
I want to see that. Yeah, where did he find the time? But I want to see that scene, guys.
Oh, I do too.
Right.
Ah.
It's the leftovers in some of these like that we are off screen. It's like there's just blood all over the walls and stuff. It's like this almost isn't Michael's like way. Like,
No.
Yeah.
All his
I-
on-screen kills, I mean, they're brutal, but they're not like
It's usually
gory.
and it's usually one person at a time, like
Yeah.
not like a whole fucking room of cops.
Yeah,
Like,
he just
Yeah.
had some fun.
No, he's
Yeah.
he's a foo.
I
Yeah.
mean, they
whatever.
did see it a little bit later on, like in the back of the truck, which we'll get to later.
oh yeah,
that was
one
kind
by
of-
one. Yeah, he
yeah.
starts going through them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I picture it like that, I guess.
I want to see this scene. The lynch mob of rednecks show up, and they tell the sheriff that they're hunting Michael for revenge because one of them, one of the rednecks, his son was killed by Michael back in the back in the second one apparently, or first
I
one.
wonder which one he was.
Yeah, I don't know. It never gives a name.
well, the
Yeah.
original sheriff's daughter was killed in the first one.
Yeah.
and so he actually comes looking for that sheriff, and he's like he's retired.
Yeah, the
I love
sheriff
that
is
weird line
retired.
of dialogue. He's like, "Well, you're going to be looking about 3,000
3,000
miles
miles.
He has to
south."
be sarcastic. Like, there's a fucking killer out, and you're
Yeah.
making jokes,
Just
dude.
tell me.
Oh, let's be honest. I was making jokes.
Uh,
I
so
don't blame him.
The lynch mob, the lynch mob thinks they see Michael, so they unload. They just this random girl or this random guy. They just unload on this guy.
Yeah.
You shot Ted Hollister.
Yeah, Ted Hollister.
They, I mean,
Hollister.
what the hell do they expect? The bushes rustle and they all just start shooting in there.
Yep.
They didn't even give a heads up. That's so irresponsible.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-uh.
That's what like Hollywood executives think of Midwest. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they go out like Yosemite Sam with their fucking Elmer Fudd, and we're shooting at rabbits in the bush. Just like Michael's. If there's something in the bush, it's clearly. But what was Ted Hollister doing hiding in the bush?
For
Yeah.
real, what's he
Yeah.
doing?
He
was up to no
He
good.
should have said,
Come on, Ted.
hey, something. Like,
After they pranked the sheriff, they should just gone. He should have just gone home. Yeah. So, next we have a sex scene, kind of.
Of course.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Almost.
So Rachel's boyfriend, she's he's boning down with the sheriff's daughter.
Bone
Fucking
it
Brady.
down.
Then the sheriff comes home right in the middle of it, and the sheriff, while he's trying to fuck the sheriff's daughter, the sheriff brings
his girlfriend.
his girlfriend over. I just love that.
See, I love the fact that her version of getting prepared for her dad to come home, it literally consists of putting on a long t-shirt.
Yep.
No
That's it.
bra. I don't know about the underwear, but just put on a long
And
t-shirt.
he hands
you're
him a
good to go.
magazine.
Yeah.
And
no
that's
one
believable.
cares.
Yeah, and like
We were
he,
by the fireplace reading magazines on Halloween night.
he did not even question anything.
The sheriff shows up with Rachel, Jamie, and then two cops, I think, and they're going to hold down the fort there, but they don't know that Michael has now hitched a ride in one of the police cruisers over to that house.
Yeah.
which I fucking love that the cop that was driving that cruiser, he goes in the house and when he comes back out, the back door
Just
where Michael,
open.
it's
Yeah.
just open, and then he doesn't even he like gives it a couple looks,
Right.
and then like he doesn't tell anybody
Which
else about
he-
this weird thing that just happened.
He knows it has. Yeah, it's interesting, but it's also like I feel like in those situations, you know, even in the worst case scenarios, like he doesn't want to mention like I might have fucked up, or he's
I
still
might
trying
have
to
brought Michael to you guys.
You're right, yeah. And he sort of wants to play it tough too, like, oh, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know. But it is pretty goofy.
I like thinking of Michael's thought processes. Like he goes on this big killing spree, and then he's like, "Now I'm just gonna wait in the back of this cop
back
car."
seat.
Like,
just gonna lay
you
down
have to
here.
like crouch weird to not be seen.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna see how this pans out.
The characters they're in the house and they start barricading the house, but it's too late. Michael's already in the house. Loomis doesn't know that, so he goes out looking for him a couple doors down, and then the fucking sheriff leaves too.
Well, yeah.
He gets a call about the rednecks like fucking things up
Right.
in town, so he leaves too. But like all of the adults are just leaving. They're
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it's just irresponsible of Jamie's parents. Like, this is an ongoing theme throughout the franchise. Like, you know, Laurie's parents on the first one, they couldn't track her down when she was almost killed by Michael Myers. They're even at the hospital, like, in the second one, and they still can't get a hold of them.
Yep.
Then flash forward to this, Jamie's parents are gone. Like, where are you? Like, what you know, your foster daughter is
even like to H2O, like she thinks that Josh Hartnett's on a trip,
it's
but
just-
he's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's shitty
yeah.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. The remaining cop, or like the remaining the last cop that's at the house, he's sitting in a rocking chair.
Great job.
And when the sheriff's daughter brings him a coffee, bam! It's Michael in the rocking chair.
Yeah, I love that he's pulling tricks now.
Yeah,
He's
he
pulling-
loves
he's
the
fucking
accurate.
trolling.
pulling tricks,
He's
man.
trolling.
But I do like the reveal here, though. I think
no,
the
it's
reveal
cool.
is cool as fuck because she bends down and she lights the candle, which illuminates. Like then you see the dead cop is right there. She sees it, yeah, and then all of a sudden Michael stands up and shoves the cop's shotgun through her.
You can't forget the great line though that she says when she brings the coffee to the cop. She's like, you know, I wish we could get the power back so we could. What'd she say? Get some MTV while we wait for the cavalry.
Yes, yes.
Grimes MTV. We could watch MTV while we wait for the cavalry
I-
because they're down in the basement trying to get the state police there.
I remember that line. I'm like, oh, this aged terribly.
Yeah,
So
like people are being slaughtered, and she's like, I wish we could watch MTV.
Yeah.
This sucks that the power's out.
Another break after that for our boy Joe Bob, and this time they get an email from Chris Jericho.
AEW champion at the time. He's
true.
not anymore. There've been two champions after that, but continue.
Okay.
I love his explanation.
Yeah, he gives a big old long theory on Michael just wanting to fuck his sister, which
He did.
kind of checks out, I guess. With the
I mean,
he
I wouldn't
fucks
go
the
as far
later
into it like
in another
he
movie.
did, but no, I could totally see him being jealous of everything because
That's why he killed
Dude,
him.
that's some Freudian shit, though.
I liked
Freaky.
I liked Joe Bob right here though. Like after he got done reading it, he was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I don't think so, man. He tells us also where to find here. He tells us where to find some of the actors and the actresses in the movies. And then right before he goes back to the movie, he explains the Chris Jericho move, Walls of Jericho. I like that he did it in detail.
Yeah,
It was pretty fun.
Used to be the Lion Tamer in WCW, right?
it was. And it's not, well, technically, the Lion Tamer and Worlds of Jericho are kind of different.
Okay.
Because it's more of an arch.
Okay.
And the Lion Tamer, the Walls of Jericho, doesn't have
Okay.
an arch.
Nice.
Now you know.
No, I always thought
Now
that
I
one
know.
looked painful as
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah, the Lion Tamer was that's why he stopped doing it.
Because it probably
Makes
actually did
sense.
hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was amazing move.
See, I always thought that was way better than the sharpshooter or the
that was my favorite.
Scorpion Sting.
But you could only do that to like little guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Joe Bob sort of, I noticed this go around, like listening to him talk about it, he's like, And I don't know why they call it the Walls of Jericho. I'm like, well, that's like a thing. Like, it's a play on words because he's Jericho and like it's the walls. I'm like, he's missing the point.
Yeah.
But I think that's sort of part of his character too. Is like, but you think a redneck guy would like wrestling?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we go back to the movie here. Rachel hears on the CB radio that the state cops are on their way. But when she goes to tell the others, she finds dead bodies.
There's only dead bodies.
There's always dead bodies. The boyfriend finds her, and they...
Fucking Brady.
The boyfriend finds her, and then they're like, hey, let's try to get out of the door. No mention of Jamie yet.
Nope.
Yep, fuck Rachel. Yeah. So they try to shoot the knob off the door, but it's metal.
It's metal.
I like that
it's
line.
metal.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's what she said. What does that mean?
What the fucking idiots.
So, because they can't get out of the door, they're like, all right, let's go get Jamie then. So they head upstairs, and Michael shows up, and the boyfriend sacrifices himself.
Fucking finally. I was
Thank
happy.
God.
Fuck
Yeah.
Brady.
That seems pretty brutal. Like picks him up by his neck. And,
It did.
and
Like-
you could see he like spits out that blood. And I'd heard that like that wasn't part of it. Like he had fake blood in his mouth ready for the kill, and he was actually like choking on the fake blood, so he had to
shit.
spit it out, and it just looked cool. Like, and to me that was like more brutal. Like his mouth filling up with so much blood because so violently grabbing his neck.
Well,
He got what he deserved.
I wish it was more brutal
True
for
that.
him.
so, but yeah, he sacrificed himself. He didn't need to sacrifice himself yet.
I don't think he sacrificed himself.
I don't think he did either.
Well,
to be
he thought
honest.
he
Like,
was
he
going
didn't
to take
try.
him
Yeah,
out.
he
Yeah.
thought he was.
Okay,
He was.
okay.
He was
He's a
ahead
big
of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he just had
like-
a night with the sheriff's daughter. He's
Yeah.
got two girls fighting
Yeah.
over him.
Yeah.
He's on top of
a
the
hot guy,
world.
right.
He's
He's got a
invincible.
fucking gun.
His
See, and-
adrenaline is high. He's like, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, he doesn't think.
But see, and that's why I thought it was out of character, but that makes a
No.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Rachel gives one of my favorite lines in one of these, which is, I think Joe Bob even calls it out at one point on one of the things in between, the segments in between, because Rachel actually yells at her,
yep.
"Leave us alone, God, leave us alone."
'Cause that's what you say to a
Michael
killer.
Myers.
Yep.
That's fun. From there, we have an awesome chase scene. It's not too often you have a chase scene on a slanted roof. That's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
great.
Right here, Tony. This is where I'm assuming you were talking about seeing Mike climb the stairs.
No.
That's what I wanted to
I got
see.
a different one.
Oh, really? I wanted to see him try to climb over all of the things. They showed it briefly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see him like, damn it. This actually kind of sucks.
No, okay, I got a completely different
Like
one coming up.
that pile that they try to
Yeah,
barricade.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
like-
true though.
that would've been fun to watch.
Yeah, because you'd be like stepping or something, and
Yeah.
then,
You'd
like
like,
it's,
yeah.
The
it's
box would
like-
cave in. And
Yeah,
go
go
son
through.
Of a bitch.
Fuck.
Yeah, nope. The one when I point something out, hopefully you guys already noticed. But yep.
Okay.
So yeah, they have a chase scene on the slanted roof. They get down from there. Well, Jamie gets down, and Rachel falls the fuck down.
And should break her back.
Yeah, and she should be at least physically.
It's called cortisol.
Was that like adrenaline or something?
Yeah, it's when like you're running from something, but it's the hormone that will protect like your bones and your nerves.
Ugh.
Yeah, it
That's
brings
still
down
a
swelling
long
and stuff.
fall,
Yeah, I don't know about
Dude,
that.
there have been people who have fallen from higher places.
Just
Just
hi,
saying.
me.
Yeah, Tony.
I've seen you fall. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
I live on that shit, man.
I feel more alive.
I liked Jamie right here because she doesn't really. She's like, oh, Rachel, but then she just bounces.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, never mind, fuck you, and she goes, just like Rachel would have done to her,
Right,
and
yep.
tried to do.
Several times, yeah.
So Loomis finds her though, Jamie, as she is tearing down the fucking street. Loomis finds her and she says, "I just don't want to go home. Everybody's dead."
Sad.
Sad. Yep.
I thought that was a happy moment.
Danielle Harris, like her,
She
She
sells it,
got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got it.
really fucking good, man.
Yeah.
From there, Loomis and Jamie hide out in the school, which was a good idea. It was a good idea.
Why? I'm curious because Loomis was really excited about the idea too. I'm like, what? Why is this school any different than anywhere else?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. I don't know. Nobody's there. There's a lot of hiding places.
Yeah,
and
good
everything.
hiding spots.
Bigger building.
Yeah,
than
big
a house.
building. But they're not sneaky about it at all. First off, you have the gunshots to get in there, which Michael will hear. And then the school alarm goes off.
Right.
which turned out to
cares?
work in their favor.
because Rachel hears it. Well, and the rednecks, right?
Yeah, the
Yep,
rednecks
yep.
hear it.
But still, like, if I'm hiding from Michael Myers, I don't want to make any noises. Anyways.
See, I just don't stop moving.
Yeah,
if I'm running from
that's what
Michael
I'm saying.
Myers,
I don't know
true,
what
that's
you
true.
do. You just keep going straight ahead and
that's what I
eventually
do.
find, get in a fucking car, take off, but he can be in the back.
Yeah.
There's
that's
just no...
that is true.
I've seen that.
Oh, should be back to one him.
Yeah, exactly. All you got to do is yell at him and
Yeah.
then walk away and then do some kung fu moves on
Why
him.
didn't anybody just
exactly.
tell him to leave him alone?
No surprise. Michael finds them. He tosses Loomis, and then he stalks Jamie a little bit. And as Michael gets Jamie, Rachel comes around the corner all of a sudden with a fire extinguisher, takes him out. And then some of the as they're walking out of the school, then some of the rednecks show up, and they find Jamie and Rachel, and they all decide it'd probably be best to just get out of town. So
Now they do.
yeah,
Now.
just let the state cops deal with it. Yeah, I like that. Just now, all of a sudden,
I can just...
everybody's dead.
I've seen it so many times, hearing the rednecks' voices so much. Like, yeah, that's their job. Let them take care of it, Earl. Yeah, let the state cops do it.
I liked the rednecks in this movie. I think they sold it too. So they hop in their truck and they race out of town. But Michael's not done yet.
This part.
Yeah, well, which part are you talking about?
I like
When the state cops show up.
No, I like that. Basically,
Okay.
from here on
Scene.
is amazing. But no, I like his hands just come up on the tailgate like he's been drugged behind him this whole
Is
way.
this what you're talking about?
No.
Because there's a
not
scene
yet.
where he struggles and he puts his arm up and he's pulling and his hair's blowing in the
No.
wind.
No. I'm thinking of another scene.
But even before that, though, it gets good because as they're booking it out of town, the truck, right? The state cops start coming the other direction,
right.
And they shoot into the
and
air.
they're shooting into the
Yeah.
air
It's
with the
totally
cops coming.
smart.
White
Yeah.
privilege.
Yeah.
White privilege, yes, yeah.
If that was a car with a black guy driving, he'd even not
Done.
shooting, they get pulled
done.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would stop with Michael.
Right. Michael will have to wait. There's a black guy.
Well, actually, one of the cops does stop then to talk to them, and he was black, wasn't he?
I don't remember.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
recall.
sure he's
Yeah, he
black,
was.
so the black guy does end up having to stop. Anyways, yeah. God. White privilege. Did I go out?
I
No,
can hear you.
no,
hear you.
you're good.
We can hear
Your
you.
headphones
Plug me in.
probably wiggled a little bit.
My headphones.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
There you go.
Can
Better?
you hear?
Nope, still can't.
Ba, ba, ba,
Hey,
ba,
I'm back.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
like he never left.
There we go. You think so? All is safe, and then Michael just
Goes off like his truck food.
And no one. It's
starts
funny because
chucking
he
motherfuckers.
kills one guy. No one seems to notice. And
Right?
then,
Like,
he looks-
inches away from another guy.
yeah, and he slowly works his way to the front. It's like there's 3 guys back there. It's like a 4x4 area.
Nobody's gonna grunt or anything.
Right?
Like you're not gonna hear the. Yeah, I don't know.
It was awesome.
Incredible balance.
Yep.
Yes.
So he takes out the 3 rednecks in the truck bed and then smashes the window and fucking starts ripping off the guy's skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Gnarly.
As fuck,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
man.
if you can put a thumb through someo's skull,
Yeah.
forehead, yeah.
You can
Yeah,
just dig
you can
your,
do anything.
your forefingers in and just start ripping.
yeah.
Oh god. So he rips off the driver's face, and then but Rachel is able to get the control of the truck, and she swerves around a little bit, and then she does the little slam on the brakes maneuver and gets him to fall off in front of the truck.
And Joe Bob wasn't face off, so it's fitting.
That's true. And then they have a little face off.
I know,
right?
right?
And he rips off a face.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about. But yeah.
There's all these face off.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
connection, the wheel.
All right. So Michael's standing in front of the truck, and she just basically just slams into him, and he goes flying. He goes flying.
It was weird because she hit him, and she reacts like she just hit a brick wall. Like she slams forward, and then Mike just goes whoa.
She puts it
like a
into gear
cartoon.
and says something like, "You son of a bitch."
Michael L. Miles.
that was all right. All right.
Yeah, they all can
No,
be
it
good.
wasn't.
It was okay.
Fuck out of here.
They all can be good.
I know the direction you were going with the joke, and I liked it.
Thank
we
you.
all got the direction.
Yeah, but it
There
just
was
wasn't a
not
good
subtle.
joke.
It was up. That's the direction of the joke.
So the cops show up, and Jamie gets out of the truck, and she goes up to Michael's body, which comes alive with her touch and tries to
Of course it
attack him.
does.
Of course it does.
Like, stop doing that. Even by now, it's like a trope. And
Yeah.
the second Halloween, that same thing happened. Like,
Yeah.
Quit touching Michael Myers.
It's funny they all like turned their back on her and like let her walk up to the corpse. Like, like how irresponsible after all this shit. Like she ran off after 2 seconds of talking to Brady, but you'll turn your back and let her walk up to Michael Myers'
You don't
body?
turn your back on this girl.
You have her fucking cuffed to you almost at this point.
You at least want to need one of those like baby leashes.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
I never.
And now we are finally at the scene I would
Okay.
get to.
Oh well. For stairs.
No, for what he wanted to see Michael do.
Oh shit!
You know when they were shooting at him?
Yeah.
He said like doing.
He's doing a dance.
He's doing like this the entire time. It's still not Michael Myers like.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That
what are you
is true,
doing? You're
actually.
like,
Yeah.
as they
He
were
wouldn't
shooting at him.
cower.
No.
He'd
Reminds
be
me of like those
bruh.
old mob movies.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, just-
especially in this movie, he plays. I think it's George P. Wilbur who plays Michael in this one. He plays it so stiff compared to
Some
Nick
of the
Castle
others.
in the first one or Dick Warlock, which is the coolest fucking name ever, who played Michael in the second
Warlock,
one. Dick
yeah.
Warlock.
Yeah.
That is cool. Man.
But like, Dick Warlock played him very robotic. The first movie, Nick Castle played him just like a person, pretty much like a slow. But it feels like he's wearing shoulder pads. They put shoulder pads in Halloween 4 to give him like some bulk, and he just looks like an action figure without any articulation this whole movie. It's like he doesn't move his,
Like
you
the
know.
like the ones you can't really bend.
Right,
Yeah.
he looks like that. And so when he's getting shot, it's very uncharacteristic. Like you would think
You
he'd
know,
just
like
stand there and
yeah,
take it.
They're like that was the best shot. That was the best take you could get.
Right.
I wonder if maybe all the noise caught him off guard. It's like,
They're
oh,
like,
damn it,
oh,
that's
like,
a lot
oh,
louder
no,
than I
I'm
thought.
like, oh no.
Yeah.
She
So
did not like
Seeing
that.
him like cower for the
Yeah.
first time, basically.
yeah, it's weird. So yeah, the cops and the rest of the rednecks, they shoot him like a million fucking times, and then we're
And then he's
good.
finally
Michael
dead.
Myers is
And
dead.
then they-
falls down like a cave or something.
Yeah, which
or-
is like one like great convenient position for him to fall into this thing, but two, like how many times are we gonna let him die and not check on it? Like,
Yeah.
like you fucking bring that body up and you
Cut
make
the
sure
head off.
Right.
Chop them
Yep.
into little
Like,
pieces.
like,
Yep.
and they didn't even have a
Well, yeah.
scene like them checking in this, and he was gone. They
Right.
were like,
Yeah.
they didn't even do that. They're
And
like, done.
He's gone to hell where he belongs.
Also with him, you have to check. You have to check that it's him. You have to check for a body.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
Wearing
you
a
also you have to check under the mask.
Yeah,
before you-
because
before you chop him up.
he's uncharacteristically like.
I mean, out of
Tricky.
nowhere, he can just make an ambulance
For all we know,
driver.
this could be another teenager.
Well,
Yeah, it
Just
could be a
fucking
damn
with them.
teenager.
It's like, I gotcha.
the most like weirdly, and this is not in this movie, but the most humanizing to me, the weirdest scene in the entire franchise is in Halloween 5 when he is arrested and he's in a jail cell and he has cuffs on and he's wearing the mask.
Wearing the mask.
So stupid. The worst.
Yeah,
the
so
worst
stupid.
shot of the entire franchise to me.
They gotta take the mask off.
Yeah. He's like sitting on a bench. Like Michael wouldn't sit if he was arrested. He would stand there and just like at the bars. But he wouldn't have. They wouldn't allow him to wear his mask. He's sitting
reflecting.
there and he's like sulking. Like he has his arms on his
Damn it.
knees and he's looking down. Like dang it, I can't. They finally got me.
I should have done it different.
I hate that scene.
Yeah, after that, back at home, the adopted mom draws Jamie a bath while everyone is downstairs calming down from the past events from the movie.
Yeah, look who's finally fucking home.
Oh,
Yeah, finally the parents are there.
but
Yeah.
hey, they
Where
were
have you
the,
been?
they were the smart one. Then got the fuck out of there.
They should've-
and came back when it was done.
They should have stayed gone, because then we get a cool POV shot, just like in the first Halloween, from behind the mask, and then you hear a scream from upstairs, which grabs Loomis's attention, and as he races upstairs, he sees 7-year-old Jamie in her clown costume, holding a bloody
I
knife.
fucking love it. I
Oh,
love it.
I like that he tries to shoot her.
I know. I know.
He's the logical one.
Yeah, like,
It's
fuck,
true,
take
yeah.
this bitch out.
And then
Right.
the cop takes away the gun and like thinks about it.
So, and then that basically brings us to a close
mean,
on
that
the
was
actual
a-
movie.
Amazing like cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
did
like
not
the
see it
ending of
coming.
everything.
Do
yeah.
they do that cliffhanger justice in the sequel?
No.
No, they
Cut.
they ruined. Yeah, they retcon everything good that the Halloween 4 did.
Everything.
They
Yeah.
instantly fuck it up.
Instantly.
Spoiler alert.
And not just like with Jamie, but I think with Michael too. Like their explanation for Michael in the fifth one is so weird.
And with Rachel, like she was,
And with Rachel.
like they waste her right away in the beginning.
And, yeah,
It's such
she's the first
anticlimactic.
death
Yeah.
yeah,
in the next. Yeah,
they do
it's-
everybody dirty in part
Yeah,
5.
And actually, like you start like I say you as in all of us, I guess, but I mean just me because like I said, I don't like Rachel. I hated Rachel.
I like Rachel.
I like Rachel.
I
She's a
also like
sweetheart.
Rachel.
Yeah,
I start
don't think she
to
was
I
too-
start to
yeah.
like Rachel towards the end because I do like how she became more sisterly to her throughout the movie. So I started liking Rachel, and then I fire up the fifth one, and I'm liking
Back.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then all of a sudden, boom!
That's
Right
gonna
as
end
I'm
well.
starting to like this girl, boom! They offer.
See, I liked her ever since basically once Brady screwed her over.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ever since then,
fucks her over.
Rachel,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's the only reason she was dramatic, and that's the only reason she was a bitch. It's because
I'm Team Rachel. Fuck Brady.
Well, she was very Laurie Strode in Halloween 4, where she's innocent and she's not going to put out just to get Brady, and she's a babysitter, she's taking care of her foster sister. And then Halloween 5, they start her off and it's like shower scene.
Yeah.
It's like she's just back to being like the pair of boobs in a horror movie, and it's
And
like
oh,
man, I
she
hate
died.
that. Like, and then they kill her, and it's like, man, that is not how Rachel was.
Yeah,
Right.
They don't do her character
The
justice.
director of Halloween 5, he just did not get the franchise. He wanted to make a whole different movie with,
Yeah.
and it did not. It failed in every way,
Well,
and I still love it.
yeah.
I watch it.
I actually
can
liked it a lot.
Yeah, I can almost not watch Halloween 4 without watching Halloween 5. So
After that, the movie goes to credits, and then after the credits, we're back to Joe Bob to tell us his thoughts and to tell us some last things about the movie.
does he bring up the mask in the school scene?
Yeah, he brings up because the mask is what, pink in that school
It's
scene?
a
or
different
something
color,
like
yeah.
that?
I didn't
He
catch that.
doesn't really explain it correctly, which I'm like,
Okay.
am I going to correct Joe Bob? But what happened with this movie?
Blasphemy. No.
I mean, this will be a whole epic rant on the Halloween franchise, but the first one everybody sort of knows, it's a Captain Kirk mask that Tommy Lee Wallace, who's producer of Halloween 1, he was given the task, go to the drugstore and pick up a mask for this, which is like incredible to think, this iconic horror movie. At the time, it was a no budget horror movie, like that John Carpenter got hired just to make. Okay, go to the drugstore and just pick out a mask. That's so much weight
crazy.
to it.
Can
He
I
goes and
pause
picks
really
that up.
quick?
Yeah,
You said that was Tommy Lee Wallace, right?
Right.
The director of the third one?
correct.
He's the one that actually got the
Halloween mask,
The
yeah,
Halloween mask?
for the first movie.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
And so he goes there, and there's two masks. There's an Emmett Kelly clown mask, which is like that really weird hobo-looking clown with like the tears,
Yeah.
There's that, or there's a Captain Kirk mask. He has only two choices. I'll get the Captain Kirk. He goes back to the set, rips off the eyebrows, rips off the sideburns, spray paints the hair black, takes white makeup, puts it all over the face. Cuts out the eyes with scissors a little bit bigger so you can't recognize Captain Kirk. And we have the most iconic, slasher
That's
mask of all
crazy.
time.
Yep.
But between the first movie and second movie, Deborah Hill, she kept the mask. The story is that she kept it on her bed, and she was such a heavy chain smoker that it turned it sort of yellowish and stuff. But realistically,
Why couldn't you just repaint it then?
well,
Yeah.
latex deteriorates over time. It changes shapes. There's still like a handful of Captain Kirk masks in existence now, but most of them have crumbled to dust. Latex is very perishable. So between the first and second movie, him taking it off and on, the white wore off of the neck, so it's very flesh colored under the chin. Any point that sticks out, the tip of the nose, the lips, anything that would be touched a lot that would rub against things sort of wears out. So to me, the second mask looked creepy because it's more. The black is wearing out of the hair. It's snapped together. It's sat in a box for years. It looks creepier to me. And then Dick Warlock's head is like, hey Arnold's. So it is like you see him and he pulls it so it makes the eyes like slant almost, and it pulls it wide. And it's incredible how a different head can make a mask look completely different, because at the time it was like, oh, it's a new mask, but it looks old. How did they do that? It's the same mask. Well, by the time Halloween 4 came around, that obviously Dick Warlock kept that mask. He's not asked back as Michael Myers. Okay, how do we get a new one? We'll just ask Don Post, who made the studio that made the original Captain Kirk mask, to just send us some more Captain Kirk masks, and we'll make. Well, you can't replicate magic. Because now we're a big studio and we know how to make it. Well, now you know how to make it. You're gonna make the white perfectly stark white.
Yeah.
You're gonna cut the eyes perfectly. You're gonna actually have black hair put on it instead of you can't replicate like the magic of an accidental magic happening. It's like a happy accident how the first mask, and people have been trying to replicate that mask for years and years. They've gotten it pretty good in the new 2018 Halloween to look pretty good, but it's like no one's ever made. That's why they look different every movie, because everybody's attempting to sort of make it, but this is actually based on a Kirk mask.
Yeah.
So you still get like the cheeks, but because it's been the way masks are made, they have this mold, and over time molds deteriorate too. So there's less detail in it. The the cheekbones and the forehead that Captain Kirk had, in that mask. William Shatner's face stuff is not as detailed, and the neck the neck was a little bit too long because they didn't trim off the access, and it's just too stark white. But I don't know. I appreciate each mask for what it is, but this is, to me, is like almost like a corporate version of Michael, where it's like pristine white, and very ghostly. He has perfectly slick back hair. And then Tony talked about like the Halloween 5 mask. That's a whole different thing. Like where the neck is way too long. They sculpted a whole new one,
and the guy refused to tuck it in.
Right, and then at some point the actor got his nose broken by Donald Loomis. So they cut off the nose of the mask and did an extension, so his nose. Oh my gosh! So you can see a line, like a triangle, all the way around the mask where they had to like glue it on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's but going back to where this started, the scene where it's like looks like it's pink. That's actually just the Captain Kirk mask that they're using in that scene. Oh. It looks pink on screen. It's actually like flesh colored, but that was one before they painted it white. I have no idea how the actor didn't put it on. Someone goes, "That's not the Michael Myers mask," but it was like they claimed that someone forgot to bring it to set or something. They only had this unpainted one.
They had to get the shot.
Right?
How do you forget that? That's
right.
the one thing.
The one thing, and how do you go in editing, see it and just go, "We'll just cut around it and do a scene from behind." I mean, you do a scene from behind, you see his hair and not his face.
I mean, just if you're gonna do it, just spray paint it white at least.
Right? Yeah. There's got to be a way. There's got to be makeup on set. Just lighten it up somehow. Some way to do
some
it.
foundation on it.
There's usually a makeup department on the set.
Right. Yeah.
The movie that actually has
it's amazing that somehow made it into that movie.
They failed.
They did fail. And then also going back to Joe Bob, here Darcy comes out dressed as the sheriff's daughter. They mentioned that, and then they read some more theories, which I liked this one. Ben Pine said he didn't go crazy. He's not crazy. He's another separate being existing outside of our experience. His reasons, goals, and motivations are all muddled in our little brains. He is higher than us. He simply is. That's why he's terrifying.
See, I think
born bad.
He's saying the same thing. He's just born bad. It's just basically adding the element of he's not aware of what's going on. He's just running on autopilot.
He's fucking born bad.
So it's the same thing. Yeah, I think they're saying the same thing. It's just
basically.
I hope that Brittany listens to this so she can yell at me through.
Oh yeah, she was very against that.
Yeah,
she doesn't believe that babies can be bad, but babies
Kevin
can be
movie.
bad.
She was all
talked about Kevin.
He was born bad, dude. He was born bad.
So that brings us to the end of the episode. But wait, there's more. We're going to hear from our podcast family, the PFPN.com, and we'll be right back with a kill count, ratings, and more right after this.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
I hate that you don't sing it.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
There's nothing to sing.
The PFPN.
Like you sing it.
Just sing it.
You want me to sing it?
It's nicer.
No.
It's like funner, you know.
Sing it.
Thank you. The PFPN.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. So we don't have any trivia, do we?
We didn't need
Like
Joe Bob
gave
Briggs.
lots of
It's
trivia.
not trivia.
Yeah, and it was a tough one to even ask a Reddit question because
Well, I mean, the way I see it is anything I can find on IMDb, he's going to have something, and at least I know his is most likely true. I don't have to worry about, like, IMDb, you never know.
Yeah, and I couldn't even think of a good way to word this on Reddit. How to?
Yeah.
Okay. I did find some interesting things about that. Going back to Joe Bob, some other interesting things about him. Like I said, the Dallas Times Herald thing, the newspaper that he started out at. When he started doing the critics, or doing being a film critic, he hated the mainstream movies because they were all basically just the same, and he preferred the foreign films and B movies, and that's like where he kind of just fell in love with the drive-in pictures. Nice. These B movies, they usually didn't screen for press ahead of time, so he became friends with like producers like George Corman and stuff like that, and they just basically they were like, you want to review our movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, like confused, like this
sure?
piece of shit. Not so much Roger Corman, but some of the other ones were like, why do you want to do that? He purposely they buried his movie reviews in the discount furniture ads, so the top editors. What the fuck was that?
That was awesome.
Oh, is it the basket?
Yeah.
First off, your cat jumped up and landed under that somehow, and then the whole thing just tumbled. It was pretty epic.
Cute.
We all were watching.
I didn't get to see it. Brett's in my fucking line of sight.
And I take up a lot of room. So they purposely buried his movie reviews in the discount furniture ads so that the top editors would see what movies he was reviewing, and then by the time that the top editors actually noticed what he was talking about in these articles, basically it was too popular to get rid of.
Oh yeah.
By then, and then I like this. This is the last thing.
Okay.
He said that I have. He said, if you're a fan of comedies, you don't feel like you have to watch every comedy ever made. But if you're a fan of horror, if you're a horror fan, you do want to watch every horror movie ever made, even the ones like going back to the 30s, to the 1930s. And I don't know, I liked it.
I can see that.
Because he was like talking about like why he loves the horror community and stuff like that, and like it's an actual community and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah, I never thought about like other genres don't really have that.
You don't go to any comedy conventions,
Nope.
do you? You go to horror conventions.
Drama conventions.
Right.
That'd be
Right.
fucking
I mean,
weird.
comic.
That'd be so depressing.
That'd be so depressing. Gross.
Oh.
So, Tony, did we have a kill count?
Yeah. Joe Bob said 18, and I checked out. Remember?
Nice. 18.
Sounds good.
So what
So-
does that bring us up to?
We started off with 350, and according to math, it was 368.
According to math.
And still probably half of those are from the first time tab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Movie, right?
Yeah.
Demons. They killed some motherfuckers.
And actually, Train to Busan really.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Train. Yeah, that was a big
yeah.
one.
That's a
yeah,
that's a
that-
number booster.
Yeah.
All right. So
And I kind of spoiled. I looked on Letterboxd to see, and somebody rated it.
oh.
But I'm not going to give that away.
Oh,
Who
okay.
rated it?
Okay.
You.
Did I? Fuck, I must have
You
did it.
rated it
Oh, I got it when I rated it when
we
I
first
got it.
she went on
I
a
didn't know we were going to do
rampage.
it.
Yep.
Shit, and I was
Makes
like, oh yeah, I'm
sense.
going to rate it on Letterboxd. Oh, already did.
Nope. No. I looked at it today. I'm like, "Good, I'm not going to say it, but I'm not going to ruin
Good
it.
boy. Don't do it.
But I just saying it. You're like, who?
Now I'm sweaty. I'm like, actually fucked
It
up.
was like funny. Who?
So who wants to kick off ratings?
I will.
Okay, tell 'em.
I may go 4.
Cool.
Nice. So is that
Wait.
rating for the movie or for Joe Bob?
Ooh, we're doing both?
I figured you might as well
Yeah,
since it's
might as
both.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Okay.
4 for the entire experience. I mean, it's hard to weight that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4.
Nice.
Okay.
Who's next?
4. Dad, you want to go?
I'll let you guys keep going. I
Okay.
want to hear what you guys know.
Okay.
I'm clearly a huge fan.
Okay,
of
we'll
both,
Right.
go.
so-
Guess
Okay.
last. That's
Okay. Abe?
I give it the Joe Bob portion. I give it 3. At first, I wasn't sure. I was like, man, this guy talks a lot, and a lot of it is I compare it to the stereotypical old guy that you would work with or that you meet. He's just like a total wealth of information, and he's like constantly talking, and it's like a stream of consciousness. Like you basically go through everything that's in his brain as he's trying to recall it, and it's great. And at the same time, it's like, man, I wish like he would kind of move on, but I don't know, it's really cool because like there's so much information and there's so much there. So I give it a 3. I definitely want more of it though. I mean, it hasn't turned me off of it at all. And then the movie itself, I give a 4 because, I mean, come on, it's the fourth Michael Myers. Why not?
Boom.
Next.
What did you give it?
He gave the whole
4
experience
all
a 4.
around.
No, I gave the movie a 4,
The
and then
movie? Because I wrote down a 4 for the movie also.
Yeah.
God, that was a good ass movie. I also, like I said, I watched all of them. I was planning on doing a rankings, but Ashlyn told me I fucking better not.
Yep.
So I will spare everybody that.
thank God.
Thank God Brett's not going to talk too much more. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I'd never seen this movie before. This is the first time
That's a
watch.
surprise.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking weird to me.
Well, here's the thing. This is what pisses me off about this franchise. Okay, every other fucking franchise, you can go out to Walmart, you can go out to Target, you can look online, and you can get the whole fucking series. Like you can go out to Target. They got 8 Saw movies for like $13,
Right.
And you can get Friday the 13th, all fucking 11 movies now. You can
Although
get all
child play
you
can be an
you can
issue.
you can get well, yeah, because the rights on the first one.
yeah.
But like any other franchise, you can go out and you can get. I've got all of the Children of the Corn on in one fucking.
There's some they'll release the box set before they're even done with the series.
Right.
Yeah,
like
like
Saw, they
every
did the same thing.
every single Fast and Furious.
But
Yes.
okay, but everything is
Accessible.
affordable.
Okay.
Yeah, this series isn't fucking affordable if you're looking for like a box set or something like that. Because I've looked in the years past, I've looked trying to get because I've got all the Jasons and I've got all the fucking Freddys and I want all of the Michael Myers. But for this box set alone, it's fucking expensive.
I want that new shout factor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the one franchise I don't really have.
It's like they know what they have and they know they can get the fucking money off of it, and I don't know, just kind of sucks. So that's why I hadn't like seen some of these like I'd seen one already. I'd seen I'd seen half of them basically, and I hadn't seen the other half.
So what was your original? Basically, did it go straight from the second one to Resurrection?
No, I'd never seen the second one either. I'd seen the first, the third. Yeah, it's really random, man. The first, the third, H2O,
Then H2O.
Resurrection, basically everything after.
Weird.
Well, I mean, that's its
Interesting.
own timeline. That could be a whole different
Yeah.
discussion. But
Well, see, because
H2O ignores
Because
sequels,
originally, when I said I wanted to do rankings, she said no, and then I was like, "Well, how about I just rank the timelines? Because there's like 4 different
so,
fucking
you
timelines."
can have like the Loomis verse.
Yeah.
You can have the
zombie one.
Yeah. So, but I think instead of doing any of that, I'm just gonna say I like what they're doing with the new one, 2018. I hope they keep that shit up.
I'm only upset we could have had this last year.
Also, one last thing. In the original script for the fourth one, have you ever heard about this original script when John Carpenter was still almost like kind of like a little bit attached? They hired this writer and he did this like crazy, like it ends up at a drive-in. Michael Myers at the end ends up being like as tall as the screen.
What?
Like, yeah, it's apparently I didn't read it. I listened to a podcast where they're talking about it, where they talk about it in depth, and it sounded like the most insane stuff. But one of the things that happened in it is a dog chews off 2 of Michael Myers' fingers, and then throughout the movie they grow back. So they were going to go in like a regeneration, like he can regenerate himself angle in the fourth one.
They were going to give an explanation for why he keeps coming back.
Yeah, exactly. They were going to try to explain it away.
There's no point.
In watching these movies, but they didn't end up doing that. But in watching all these movies, in the new one, 2018, he loses 2 fingers. To to Jamie Lee's
shotgun blast.
Yep, to his shotgun. So I'm just saying he's going to regenerate those in the next one.
Okay.
Colin,
Is it my turn now?
you go.
Fuck, you talk so fucking
I'm
much.
done. I'll leave.
Okay, Halloween 4, my favorite of the whole franchise. So that gets a 5. Joe Bob, I like Joe Bob, but I don't like Joe Bob on this one.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, that's
Okay.
Just because he talked for 18 minutes before I got to watch my
setup.
movie.
Yes.
This is my favorite one. The first one I ever saw when I was little. Favorite one. He talks so fucking much. Although I did love his whole stance on the Lifetime movies and shit. Loved it. But
Yeah.
I did look at that. I did
Jeez.
note that. I didn't say that, but I looked at the time like 17, like
he
34
talked
before the
for
movie.
so
I'm like,
long.
really?
And
I liked it.
I was telling Abe, I was like, oh my God, what is he doing? Like, let me watch my movie. But But so I give that a 4.
Yeah.
I actually, apparently on Letterboxd, I rated this movie as a 4.5.
Yeah,
but
I saw that.
I mean it to be a 5. 'cause
Gotcha.
it's my
See,
favorite.
that's why I didn't rate anything I saw before because I needed for I can't do ratings.
I'm
that
bad
far
with
back.
ratings though too.
So you're welcome.
I'm kind of
because now
flip-floppy.
you can change that. Since I
said-
saw
True.
that.
You said this was your favorite, right?
Yeah, this is my
See,
favorite.
That's why we started out. That's why we did this episode
'Cause
of the
it's
fourth
my
one.
favorite.
Yeah, because I was already making you watch
Yeah.
Joe Bob, which you didn't want to do originally.
I did not want to do
Yeah, I had
I
to-
don't care what people like. I don't care.
She doesn't
about
care
people
for talking.
And then-
I really don't.
And then you said, and I said, yeah, but I really want to do it. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, we at least have to do the fourth one because that's my favorite.
That's right.
So that's why we started.
compromise, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, we're never
So
gonna
yeah,
fight again.
4/5.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's a slasher. Okay, Tad.
I hate you.
I'll probably
sometimes.
do a 4 for the movie just because saying it's perfect is like saying it's on the same level as the original movie, and it's not quite there. It's a great sequel. I love it. It's near and dear to me. I know it inside and out, and love. I watch it at least twice every Halloween season, even if I don't want to. It's on AMC. But
You can't escape it.
as far as the Joe Bob thing, I would say this is like not one of my favorites of his. I do like the Rand's beginning. It's pretty funny, but like the thing of him trying to figure out why Michael's crazy, it felt like more filler as compared to some of this other stuff he does. I love when he's very passionate about a movie or passionately hates a movie, and digs deep into it. Like he did one this past season with direct-to-video, like shot on video movies.
Shot on videos.
It's Sledgehammer and Things, and both those movies are unwatchable, but Joe Bob makes them watchable, and that's where he shines, is when the movie's so bad that it's hard to get through, but he makes it watchable. Like to me, because going in, it's like 90% of the people watching have never heard of these movies, and to me that's when it shines, when he's digging out stuff from that. I've seen Halloween 4 a million times. I also think it's interesting, like it depends on how you're digesting it, because it's like I've discovered a lot of movies through Joe Bob, but I would not recommend somebody watch a movie for the first time with Joe Bob, because you should watch it all the way through uninterrupted, and then maybe go back and watch it. It's like doing it with a commentary track, sort of. And so I sort of agree with Ashlyn, and that's like, if you love the movie, it's like this guy's cutting in and interrupting my movie. He's talking like, I just want to get, he can sometimes doing that can interrupt the pace of the movie. But I will say, like, watching it on Shudder is so much better. One, because the movies are unedited, and two, like, think about watching this on Monster Vision. He would not only cut in and interrupt, but then it would go to commercials
For 5 minutes.
Oh,
of
yeah,
commercials
and then
after
come
that.
back, and then he would talk again. Then back to the movie. It took forever to get through the movie.
I would have been done.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
And eventually, after TNT started going in a different direction, they had Penn and Teller hosting it.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then eventually it went to like nothing. They just had a voiceover, like the TNT guy was the voiceover, no actual host. But it's so crazy back then. They didn't really, like, it's not now where we find out stuff's canceled, but that wasn't how things worked back then. So it was like they aired the last episode of Joe Bob, and then
They didn't
the
say.
next week it was like, where's Joe Bob? And they just sent him a letter that said, we're no longer in need of your services. And he was just off the air, and no one ever knew, like,
Yeah.
did he quit? Did the show fire him? What happened? It was just, back then, it was like,
Yeah, not
finally,
internet.
yeah, it was like, eventually we figured, but it was like, we just sort of, like, I
And then-
go in Saturday night to watch Joe Bob, and he's not there anymore. It's like,
Or you have to
That
go,
would be
like, in that
weird.
one show, like, did it get moved? So you have to
Right.
look at the,
Yeah.
like, moving TV guide channel. Like,
And
is it on? Is
yeah,
it
and
on?
if it
It's
passes
on?
you, it's like, shit, you have to wait
Yeah.
for it to circle
Yeah.
Is
back
that
around.
the
Yep.
Channel 13
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
the day?
Like,
Yeah.
did it get changed? It's a different day.
God,
that
I
was
hated
always
that
cool, too.
channel.
Like, now with the internet, like, he gives out clues, and people, can sort of guess what he might be showing. That's sort of the fun part of it. But, like, back then, you did have, like, TV Guide and stuff. You'd know what movies he's showing. But, like, when I was a kid, it's like, I didn't want to. So it really would be truly, it was all about Joe Bob, not so much about the movie. But then, of course, he would show a lot of stuff he picked. And, I mean, he had, like, a school, a weird episode where he's at a school teaching, and Clint Howard was with them. I mean,
I remember that.
yeah, they did a lot of, like, weird, like, and he hosted, like, 80 comedies and stuff, too, like, not just horror and stuff, whatever, TNT, and he would, it was a job to him, so he was hosting.
Got to make the money.
Yeah, but, he would make some of that stuff, and people still freak out, like, when he showed Heathers, they're like, that's not a horror movie. It's like, get some variety, goddamn, guys. Like, or I've never, this movie sucks. It's like, you're not gonna like every movie, and it was
Well, a lot of people were. Was it the shot on video episode where people were
There was
like,
people I remember seeing
like
on Twitter.
Yeah, online were like, "Fuck," like
Yeah.
getting upset and everything, and then he came like at the end and was like, "Hey, like all of these movies deserve appreciation,
Right.
Even no matter how much you think it sucks."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
his speech at the end of the One Cut of the Dead episode is probably like the best thing he's done. Like his speech about independent filmmaking
Yep,
and just
I saw
getting
that.
out and doing things. It's like the most motivating
Yeah.
fucking speech of all time. It's so good.
That really motivates
I'll have
motherfuckers.
to check that out.
Have you
I've been
seen-
wanting to see One Cut of the
You
Dead.
haven't seen it yet?
No, I heard
Oh
about it.
my
Heard it
God.
mentioned on one of the year-end episodes on AOTKP.
Probably from him.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing.
That's actually where I heard it too.
Yeah, it's been on my watch list ever since. I just never
We
got
should do an
around to
episode
it.
on it. It's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I hate you. Final thoughts, guys? Anybody?
I'm excited to check out more Joe
Yeah.
Bob, and
Thank you, Tad.
thank you, Tad, for joining
Thanks,
us.
Tad.
Get me on here
Thank
for
you.
Joe Bob and Halloween. We're gonna go long, so
What are
That's right. We're only at 2 hours.
Yeah, we are like
that's
like about
bad.
2 hours and 10
Not
minutes.
bad.
Be
Oh,
good.
it's not
was
bad
good.
at all.
this will be our longest episode then.
Yeah, actually not.
Is it? No, it's not.
Not.
202 with Jason before.
Was it
this.
202? I don't remember. But yeah, it was
Before we
fun.
make it longer.
But yeah, check
I want to
out.
break Jason's record. Let's keep going.
Fuck you, Jason.
Guys, about
But where can we find Tad? Plugs.
Right next to you, Tony. No, of course you can find the two podcasts on the pfpn.com, and check out Snake Alley Festival Film on all the socials. Pretty simple. Yeah, snakealleyfestivalfilm.com. So
And just to throw this out there, this will be out on Wednesday, which is before the Snake Alley.
Yeah, so
Yes,
you should
it
come.
is.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're listening, go to this shit.
Check it out. We'll
It's
probably have
awesome.
a link. Okay.
Yeah.
bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Joe Bob, hey, you never got back to me, so why are you mad at me? Yeah.
Subliminal messages. Tony eats poop.
I love poop. It's shitty. I need that short distance intro, but I'll do that sometime. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Got to pee. So 2 hours and 10?
Yeah.
We're running behind.